All rise for the Honorable Judge Starshard. You may be seated. Hello, chat. We are back. Another month has passed us by. Halloween is over. October has come and gone, etc., etc. But on the bright side, although we are heading into what is promising to be, I'm sure, a wonderful winter, we get to go back to the previous month and review all the top posts from Am I the Asshole and judge them. That's what we do here. I am the judge. You are, I don't know, like, what do they call the audience in the courtroom? Like the peanut gallery? You're that? You're not the jury. I'm judge, jury. I'm judge, Judy, and executioner. There we go. That's the joke, right? Anyway. Let me tone down the Phoenix Wright music here a little bit. You're just supposed to get a hint of the music. It's not supposed to overpower the stream. We're not here to just listen to music, chat. We're here to learn. Let's jump right into it. Am I the asshole for doing the same thing to my sister-in-law that she does to my son? Well, I guess that depends on what you're doing to her. Let's find out. We're getting a not the asshole here, so... Oh boy, this is a long one. So, background. I, 32F, have a brother, Dave, 35M, who's married to Sarah, 29F. They don't have children yet. That's kind of presumptuous, but okay. I have a son who just turned 4 and a 3-month-old daughter with my husband, 39. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let's do the math on that. Half your age plus 7. I guess it depends on when they started dating. Hopefully he wasn't like 22 when they started dating. I guess if they have a 4-year-old son, he would have been at least 35 or 35, half, whatever. We'll start. That's not the point of the post. Okay. My husband and I live in Belgium most of the time. Okay. But we travel back to visit my family about once a month in England. At home, we speak both English and French to our children. My husband is Belgian. So why doesn't he speak Belgian? And right now, my son is in this very sweet phase where he'll sometimes mix up the two languages and say a couple words in English in a French sentence or vice versa. This has never posed a problem to us, and even the staff at his nursery have reassured us that it's common and they tend to grow out of it once they start school. Yeah, he better. My sister-in-law has decided this is a problem. So when we're visiting my parents and she notices my son doing this, she'll correct him. But she does so really rudely, whereas my husband and I will just gently correct him. Dude. Your sister-in-law, your brother, your nephew, I guess. Okay, so this is Sarah's perspective because she's the one doing this. Your nephew is basically bilingual and you're being an asshole about it? Come on. Anyway, we're visiting at the moment and she's now decided that instead of correcting him, she's just gonna start ignoring him when he does this. I sort of noticed her doing it when we arrived and I thought it was odd, but assumed maybe she was just stressed. Her job is quite intense. But it only really became an issue yesterday. My husband was talking to my dad outside and I was feeding my daughter in the other room. And I'd left Lewis, who is the son, I guess, with Sarah and Dave. When I came back downstairs, Lewis was crying and I managed to understand that he'd tried to ask Sarah for a drink. He has a special cup he uses that he was holding, so it was obvious what he meant. But that she just ignored him. I asked her why, and she explained that she wasn't going to reply to him unless he said the sentence correctly, and that I shouldn't be ignoring my son's obvious speech issues. Dude, kid's 4? For context, it's not that she didn't know what he wanted. She told me that she understood exactly what he was asking for, which is the purpose of language, but she was deliberately refusing because he hadn't asked correctly. Aunt Sarah, may I please have a drink? As you can see, I'm holding my very special cup that I only hold when I want a drink. I guess that, or like he needs to grovel on the floor a little bit. This really pissed me off. I felt disrespected. But luckily, my husband came inside at that moment and pulled me away. What, was she gonna like start beating her sister-in-law's ass? so we could calm down and settle Lewis. That night at the dinner table, Sarah asked me to pass her something, but she said it in bad English. She is English. I just mean that she asked for it in slang. Think, pass us the peas, will you? I had a bit of an epiphany and I just decided to totally ignore her. She asked again, I did the same thing. My brother asked why I was ignoring his wife, and I said I'm not able to reply if she can't speak English correctly, and that it's wrong of him to ignore her obvious issues with grammar. Everyone's pretty pissed off with me, and I'd admit it was incredibly childish. It was, probably well-deserved, but she was needlessly being a dickhead to my baby. Should I just apologize? Edit. Wow, thanks for all the updates and the awards. What is it? Golden Peach? I don't even, what are all these awards? What the hell? Gilded. I don't, user received Reddit silver for this post. It's all that. I don't interact with that part of Reddit, so I don't know what any of these are. Okay, let's see. It was obviously not the, well, okay. I think we have to maybe break down into a few extra categories in the am I the asshole judgment. Because you can be an asshole, but you can be right. It's like, yes, you're an asshole. Personally, I think this is just stupid. Like, you're not getting the point across. She's clearly an idiot. Like, doing this to her is just going to strengthen her resolve. I think you just say, dude, kid is 4. Like, he's gonna, like, learn how to speak as he grows up. But no, you want to, I don't know. Can't just give the kid a damn drink. Come on. Like, okay, I don't even like kids. We've been over this before, chat. But if I was at my sister's house and my nephew came over and was like, Uncle Starshard, can I have a drink? I'd be like, yeah, sure, buddy. I guess, I don't, like, if he said it in, like, another language, I'd just be like, wow, I'm surprised you can speak another language you can barely read. Kid is like 7, by the way. Anyway, wow, this really blew up. Thanks for all the comments and support, and thanks for all the everyone sucks here, you're the asshole messages too. I'm not going to apologize to her because, to be quite frank, I think she deserved it. Then why did you come here? All right, not the asshole. You completely passive-aggressively defended your kid against a childish adult. Was it petty? Yes. Was it deserved? Hell yes. I don't know. Justified. That's what we're talking about. Justified asshole. You were an asshole, but it was justified. Not the asshole. I think it was a good way of making your point, actually. Your son is 4. Of course, he's going to make a few grammatical and pronunciation errors. Gentle correction is the way to go, not ignoring the kid unless and until he gets the sentence right. How does he even know what's right unless the adults in his life tell him? Yeah, like, he doesn't know. Dude, kid's 4. He doesn't have any experience with the English language. Or he does. Well, you get the point. I don't have to explain this one. This is pretty straightforward. All right, nice little appetizer, pretty straightforward one. I read ahead of it. I didn't read any of the posts, but I did look at some of the titles, and we are in for some juicy ones. In fact, I see one coming up here shortly. Maybe you can spot it. Number 2, am I the asshole for staying true to my threats after my dad died? Dad, when you die, I'm going to... My dad died unexpectedly. Yeah. Where were you last week? And my sister Jess and I lost our mom last year to a mix of cancer and the virus. From how our family acted in the past over scavenging over dead people's things, both Jess and I decided to send out a family memo. So no one is to enter or take anything from our parents' house until we get there. Both Jess and I work on the West Coast, so it takes some time to get there with all our kids and family. I saw several notifications from my parents' Ring doorbell, and I'm a lawyer. I reminded my family we will prosecute. Jess and I are on the same page. Jess gets to my parents' house first and notices stuff is missing, and my parents had security cameras and an Alexa show. A what? Alexa show? Is that a thing? Hold on, chat. Let me Google this. I just want to make sure I understand. Alexa show. Sorry if I'm like messing with your Alexa. Echo Show, smart display with motion and Alexa. Amazon's Echo Show 10 is a fantastic starter smart home. Okay, it's like a smart home system. Got it. We need that information. Blah, 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 blah. Where were we? Okay, it's shown it shown my cousin. I'm going to ignore you unless you speak English correctly. It showed my cousin taking stuff from the house. So Jess did what we agreed on and called the police, and 2 of our cousins were arrested. Come on, use your words. Because it was over $1,000, both are looking at felonies. Yeah. My cousin said my dad promised him this stuff, and I have my dad's will making me executor of the estate. I told him he should have waited to file a claim with the state, and everyone was warned about what would happen. Jess and I don't have the best relationship with our extended family. Gee, I wonder why. And we are not dropping charges. Because of this drama, Dad was quietly cremated with no service, and we plan to hold one when scattered our parents' ashes at Jess's house. What the heck? Oh, we with no service, and we plan to hold one. No, there's a word missing. When we scatter our parents' ashes at Jess's house in a tree planted for them. My last living grandma is upset about it, but she sided with my cousins and aunt, saying we are too tough on having them arrested. This is another nice little short one, I guess. I'm gonna say, no, not the asshole. You said, hey, guys, I'm the executor of the estate. This is important to make sure everything's on the up and up. So just hold off. We'll be there in like a week or whatever. And then we'll get it all sorted out. Maybe I'm not like that greedy. I'm not a vulture that's gonna pick over the estate of my parents when they die, if they even have one at this point. But like, just chill. You can't wait like a month or two. What is so damn important? Anyway, no, not the asshole. Obviously, this is, I mean, kind of the asshole, I guess, like having your family members arrested, but let's be real. Sometimes people just deserve it. There is nothing quite so unedifying as the rush by distant family members to grab what they can when someone dies. Definitely not the asshole. Isn't that kind of the plot of Knives Out a little bit? So your dad had a will naming you the executor, and your relatives decided to steal from your dad's estate, not the asshole. Yeah, that's... There are legal procedures for this kind of thing. Like, just don't jump in front of the line. Like, just chill. Am I the asshole for returning my daughter's birthday cake after I discovered that my wife made changes to it? Hold up. What? Okay. Am I the asshole for returning my daughter's birthday cake after I discovered that my wife made changes to it? Let's find out. I am 37, have a daughter now 13, Olivia, from my former relationship. Currently, I'm married to my wife, who has a daughter 16, Brittany. So Brittany's the opposite of Olivia. For example, Brittany is a social kid, Olivia is an introvert. The list is long, but they're just the complete opposite. I feel like we've had a similar post like this before. Olivia's 13th birthday was 2 days ago. She loves chocolate. I decided this is the flavor I was going to go with when I contacted the bakery. However, my wife objected since Brittany absolutely hates chocolate and suggests we go with vanilla. No, that's not how it works. It's your birthday. You get to pick the cake. I said no way because, for one, Olivia hates vanilla and it's also her birthday, so she gets to have her cake with her favorite flavor. My wife got upset and took it as in I had no regard for Brittany and we should just choose another neutral flavor instead. What is another neutral flavor? You have chocolate cake, vanilla cake, which is just cake. Well, like carrot cake. Red velvet cake is just chocolate cake. Marble is like the worst of both worlds for these people since they apparently hate everything. Hex says, how do you hate chocolate? Good question. And how do you prefer vanilla to chocolate? I don't know. Kids are weird. Apparently this wife is like also really weird. I shut that down and said no more discussing this because I'd already decided to go with what Olivia wanted for her birthday. I would like to remind you. At the day of the birthday, I'm going to ignore that because it's improper grammar. Please speak correct English. I was supposed to go get the cake, but I was surprised to see my wife coming home after picking up the cake from the bakery. I looked at it and discovered it wasn't a chocolate cake. Dun dun dun. I need that on the soundboard. But a vanilla cake with small pieces of chocolate on top. I got pissed thinking they got my order wrong and was about to contact them, but my wife said there was no mistake and that she called the bakery the day before and made slight changes to the cake to please both girls. And now no one's happy. I was stunned. I lost it on her and asked why she disrespected me. I mean, why the hell she did that? She got defensive, saying that birthdays are no excuse to show favoritism and that her daughter is quote unquote watching and observing how I'm treating both girls. I told her off since I was the one paying, then called, oh, that's, it doesn't matter who's paying if you're married. Just get that out of the way. Then called the bakery and explained what happened. I had the cake returned and replaced with a chocolate cake, although this one is a smaller, but it was fine. My wife declined to take part in the celebration, and later we got into a huge argument. Gee, you think? Where she called me controlling and selfish for returning the cake instead of using this opportunity to teach Olivia to compromise. So everyone is happy. Nobody was happy, lady. Now I'm teaching her to be selfish. I said that my daughter gets to act selfish on her birthday and that she, my wife, was teaching her daughter to be entitled. Word for word, and it led to a bigger argument. We're not talking as of now. This is why you don't, like, marry someone when you have kids and or they have kids. Maybe that's a little bit too general. But clearly these people are incompatible. Like, they apparently, their former relationships didn't work out. Now they're in another relationship that's not working out. Gee, I wonder what the connection could be between those two things. Hex says, yes, compromise means you get what you want and I get what you want. That's totally how it works. Not the asshole. Obviously not the well, all right. The wife is an asshole here. First off, I don't like, I'm not even gonna say this is you're an asshole but you're justified. This is just straight up not the asshole. You got the wrong cake. You'd call the bakery like, hey, my wife is a bitch and she changed the order without my knowledge or consent. I would like a chocolate cake for my daughter's birthday, please. And they were like, yes, sir, right away, sir. And then the daughter gets the chocolate cake that she wanted. Did they sit down with Brittany and be like, hey, Brittany, I know you don't like chocolate cake, but it's, you know, it's your stepsister's birthday, so, you know, she gets to pick the cake. You get to pick the cake on your birthday. That's how this works. See, when I first read this title, I thought it was gonna be like, oh, my wife who doesn't like that my daughter is trans and she made them change the cake so it says you're the birthday boy or whatever. That's what I thought, but this is just stupid. What the hell? If you're the birthday person, you get to pick the cake flavor. That's like the one rule of birthdays. Okay. Yeah, not the asshole. Olivia's birthday, not Brittany's birthday. The cake should be the flavor of what the birthday cake. I think that's just like common knowledge. I don't know if this is in a different country or something. What input? Am I the asshole for returning the cake and not taking my wife's input into consideration? What is the input? You don't get to pick the birthday cake flavor on your birthday. You have to pick what everybody else wants. You have to pick a flavor you don't like because someone that you may or may not be eating the cake is gonna bitch about it. No, come on. Oh boy. As a person who doesn't even like cake, I still get angry. Like, oh, it doesn't matter what cake you get. It's gonna be dry and it's just gonna be covered in frosting and it's gonna be gross and sugary. But you know, it's your birthday, so I'll eat it. Am I the asshole? Oh, this is the one I was talking about earlier. How many infertile people end up in these Am I the Asshole posts? It seems like there's a running theme. Am I the asshole for canceling a check of 12 grand that I wrote for my infertile friend for her next IVF cycle over a joke? Okay, so was the check written as a joke, or did she cancel the check over a joke? It sounds like she canceled the check over a joke. So let's find out what the true story is. I, F35, am infertile. Lucky you. My ex-husband and I tried everything to have kids. Oh, and we mean everything. If you can imagine it, we tried it, but it just never happened. He divorced me, went and married someone younger who was able to give him a kid, and from what I gather, they're expecting a second child together. It hurts like hell seeing someone else have what I couldn't. Dude, where are all these ladies who can't have kids, and why are they complaining about it? I get frustrated with myself sometimes, and with family blaming me for basically everything. I turn to my friends for support, especially Alessia. She's in the same infertility boat as me, but she and her husband are currently trying IVF, hoping it'd work. If you got 12 grand to spend on IVF, just like adopt a kid. There's lots of like gently used children out there that could use a good home, you know? They're clearly on shady subreddits, yeah. Alessia asked me to help to pay for her upcoming IVF cycle. Why? That is not something you would ask a friend. I agreed to write her a check of 12 grand. Hey, so, anybody want to help me out with my upcoming IVF cycle? It's 12 grand. You can make the check out to cash. Just send it to my P.O. box. There'll be a link down in the doobly-doo. You can just click on that, and we'll get you all situated. I really wanted to help her, and the money came with no strings attached. Presumably aside from the fact she has to use it on IVF. I wrote the check and gave it to her last week. She was very appreciative of it. The very next day, I got a sudden message from a mutual friend, Carol, with a screenshot of the conversation she had with Alessia. Turns out she and Alessia were talking about the next IVF cycle, and Alessia said she'd hoped the cycle would work because she didn't want to end up divorced, and having her husband go marry someone younger and having a baby with them and another one on the way. While she's alone and without a family at 35. Oh boy. She's 32. I was stunned and hurt. I knew she meant me here, but I did not confront her. I simply contacted my bank and canceled the check. In the evening, Alessia called to ask why I canceled the check, and I told her, what do you mean? Why? How do you find out that the check got canceled? She went batshit saying she didn't mean it that way, and she thought that this was somewhat an inside joke between desperate infertile women. Yeah, that's kind of how I see it. It'd be like, I don't want to end up as a 35-year-old Twitch streamer who gets 2 viewers on average, and you're bald and fat, and your wife divorces you. Like, if someone said that to me, like a younger Twitch streamer came up to me and they're like, you know, I just don't want to end up like someone like that. It's a joke. I get it. Maybe she takes it a little harder because it's like kind of ruined her life. She came over with her husband the next day begging I write another check, but I refused. An argument ensued, and her husband ended up on the ground crying and bloody. Oh, sorry. Her husband thought I wasn't being supportive of her like when she supported me throughout my struggles. She left crying and we haven't talked since. Yeah, you no longer have a friend. Her husband keeps reminding me while repeatedly calling Carol a toxic snake of the date of the next cycle, saying they can't have it after I took the money that was supposed to pay for it back. Okay, some friends think I'm being oversensitive. Carol's on my side telling me to tell them to go to hell, but I feel so bad about it. What I've done might just damage our 15 years of friendship. Maybe I should have canceled it, but I just felt so offended by what she said about me and how she basically mocked my unfortunate circumstances. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Yes. I'm gonna go against the hive mind here. I'm gonna say yeah. Like, she was just trying to say, you know, I don't want to end up the way that South Marine 3167 ended up, because like she's miserable. Or maybe like just don't write your friends a check for 12 grand. I can't think. First of all, I don't have 12 grand, so don't ask, chap. Relip says I missed the first 25 minutes. Was there anything good? Not really. There was just a couple of appetizers. There was a mediocre cake, yes. So you missed the cake one. The cake one was okay. It wasn't quite as juicy as I was hoping it was going to be. It was a dry cake. But we just did the infertile post for the night. So, yay. Anyway, I would not write anyone a check for $12,000, first of all. I would not then cancel that over like a kind of ill-conceived joke. It sounds like the friend, I don't know. Okay, here's the quote. She didn't want to end up divorced and having her husband go marry someone younger and have a baby with them and another one on the way, while she's alone and without a family at 35. So how painful, how like venomous is that to say about your friend who just gave you 12 grand? If someone gave me 12 grand, I would never talk shit about them ever again. Unless it was my dad, in which case, whatever, fuck him. I'll take the money though. And let's see. Oh, by the way, I sent Carol a link for this thread to see what her thoughts were, and she just laughed. She was kind of angry I used her real name. Oh, now everybody knows it's her real name. I mean, you don't have to, no one's gonna know. I'm relieved that I used a throwaway, lol. Oh, your name's not South Marine 3167. You don't do other posts. I'm gonna say you're the asshole. You shouldn't have given 12 grand to start with. You should have just been like, look, unless you're like super rich and 12 grand is a drop in the bucket. What is this? Like somebody that has lots of money? I don't know the joke to make. Who's like a rich lady? Not the asshole. It was a cruel thing to do it for, especially after you were being so gracious towards them. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, and also by the way, just a reminder for all the women out there, your worth is not connected to your ability to bear children, except unless you like really want them, and then you kind of is like, you kind of decide how you define your own worth. And if you're like, I am worthless if I don't have kids, that's not a very healthy mindset, but I guess, you know, then you've set your own worth. Oprah. Okay, so yeah, this lady's Oprah. She's like, you get IVF, you get IVF, everyone gets IVF. That's exactly how this is gonna go down. Thank you, Rilip, for letting me know the name of it's like the name a woman from Gandalf. Like for $12,000, name a woman. Elon Musk. No, damn it. Am I the asshole for calling the police on my fiance? Is that one the man fiance or the lady fiance? Does anybody know off the top of their head how many E's is each one? Before I look, because as soon as I look, it's gonna be like me, F35, called the police on my fiance M47 or whatever. Extra E is okay. So she's a lady calling the police on her soon-to-be husband. Maybe not anymore. All right, last night my 35M fiance. Wait, hold on. I think this person screwed it up. Okay, so OP is 35M, fiance is 38F. Should be an extra E in there. Now everything is screwy. Left in the evening to give a friend's son a ride back to his home. She implied she'd be home before 9. She left at around 7:45. 10:15 rolled around and she still wasn't home. I texted and she apologized to me, saying that her friend's son was actually in the next town over and she was coming home now. 11:45 rolled around and she still hadn't come home, so I called her to no answer, texted her to no response. I was getting very upset. Yeah, this is okay, this is relatable. 12:30 rolled around, still no response, no answer to my phone calls. I was extremely angry. No, you should be like, oh my gosh, my fiance could be dead. 1:30 rolled around, my anger had completely now we're getting into worry. Not answering my calls and texts, not read. Around 1:45, I called the police. I've always heard the first 24 hours of someone being missing is the most important, so I didn't want to delay. I asked them to let me know if there'd been any traffic accidents involving her car, and the operator told me they would put out the word and send some cops to check along the route she would travel. I called all the hospitals in the area. Dude, fiance of the year right here? To check if she'd been checked in, and I waited outside watching the road for her car for 3 hours. Partially because I didn't want the kids to hear me on the phone with hospitals, and secondly, they have kids? And secondly, because I was sick with worry. At 7 a.m., she came home. What? So at 7 a.m., She came home. She apologized for being out and said she had no excuse. She was driving home and felt tired, like she was falling asleep at the wheel, so she pulled over to the side of the road to sleep. When she did that, she found that her brand new phone had stopped working. She says she napped anyway because it was the responsible thing to do, and then came home at 7 a.m. to bring the kids to school and get to work on time. What? I immediately called the police and told them she had come home safely and gave them the case number and told them to stop searching, which they did. My fiance brought the kids to school and left to work. I set out to start cleaning. Cleaning de-stresses me sometimes. That's interesting. I got a call from a policeman asking where she worked. I told him and asked why, and I was informed that it was their policy to check on the person's wellness after a missing person is found. That's probably a good policy. I asked him to not go by her work, but to give her a call instead. He said he couldn't promise. My fiance is relatively new to her job. A police officer showed up and asked to speak with her. She's now enraged at me for calling the police and sending a cop to her work and making her look bad. She is saying I overreacted. If anything, he underreacted, and that she wasn't missing and that I was punishing her for doing the responsible thing and not driving while drowsy. She's saying that she's never gonna leave the house again except for work because she's afraid I'm gonna call the cops on her again. Okay, drama queen. Did I overreact? Should I have waited 2 days like she should? No! 2 days? She's dead in a ditch somewhere. What are you talking about? Oh boy. And yes, fiance is your boyfriend, fiance is your girlfriend. Both of them are. Or is there like a difference in pronunciation? Fiance versus fiance? I don't. Beyonce? Okay, no, not the asshole. What the hell? I have no excuse. I have no excuse for not showing up. My brand new phone stopped working. Funny how that happens. And then she napped. Okay, so that's, yes, that is responsible. When did she fall asleep? Because she says, I'm in the next town over. I'm coming home now. Saying her, okay, she left in the evening to give a friend's son a ride back to his home. Her friend's son was in the next town over. What is that even like? I need more details. This is nuts. And there were no businesses anywhere from which she could have called. I mean, I live in the Midwest and it's entirely possible that she's on a country road for like 45 minutes and there's nothing around. So I believe it. So let's say she texts at 10:15 and she's like, I'm on my way home now. 45, even an hour later, she's still on her way home. And she's like, oh, I'm like falling asleep at the wheel. I don't want to crash. I'm just going to pull off here and I'll take a nap and then I'll drive home. I don't know. This story doesn't really check out. She left at 7:45. She said she'd be home by 9 or before 9. She's like an hour and a half later, or like an hour and 15 minutes after 9. She says she's coming home and then it's like she's just gone. Like, what the hell? Not the asshole, but you know she's lying, right? I mean, I do suspect that the story isn't truthful, but she doesn't really have a history of lying to me. I've been trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. No, her whole story is a big fat lie. She told you she'd be home by 9, but somehow was wrong about where the kid lived. Did she not know the town beforehand? Did she just start driving 30 minutes? And the kid goes, oh no, wait, I actually live in XYZ, not XXX. That part of the story doesn't even make sense. Yeah. And she got tired and pulled over and napped on the side of the road. If the police were looking for her on the roads where she claimed to be and she was napping in her car, they would have found her. Well, let's not give the police too much credibility here. And then her new phone just happened to not be working, despite the fact simply does not happen. And even if it wasn't working properly, she still could have dialed 911. Oh boy. Please stop telling me that you are a woman and that you've slept on the side of the road in the middle of the night. That's like bragging about, oh, okay, people are saying like a woman wouldn't do this. Sure. Not the asshole. Yeah, I don't believe this story at all. I agree. I don't believe her story one bit. Driving a kid home and disappearing for the entire night is a massive red flag. Pulling over and sleeping on the side of the road for a 30-minute drive is nuts. She's now turning this around to say she's the victim of your actions. The kid is 17. She was picking him up from somewhere he was at and bringing him home to her friend. Dude, what the heck, man? This is okay, this is just insanity. I want more information, but we're not gonna get it because, you know, we rarely get these. Unless this is like, I'm laying the groundwork. So I'm in OP's shoes. I'm like, I'm laying the groundwork. I'm gonna come back. Hey, it's me, Reddit. 6 months ago, I made a post about my fiance not coming home until 7 in the morning. Turns out she's been cheating on me the whole time and we just got divorced. Give me updates, please. Like, that's an option here. Could be a groundwork post, but again, we have to assume everything is truthful as it's being reported in the post. I'm gonna say not the asshole. Maybe follow up on the story because this is sounding a little fishy. Update. Okay, this is what happened. Am I the asshole for the way I reacted? To my parents' open relationship and no longer paying rent. What? Hold on. Wait a minute. What is the original post? It's been over a week since I posted. Thank you guys for your judgments and advice. I've blocked my parents on everything and have gone no contact. Why? Hold on. Let me see the original post. Am I the asshole for the way I reacted to my parents' open relationship and no longer paying rent? I, 18M, live with my parents. I've been paying rent since I was 16, since my parents would be financially fucked if I wasn't helping out. A few of my parents told me a few something. We're missing a word. My parents told me they are seeing someone and that their relationship is open. I didn't give a shit. All right, based, since it wasn't affecting me until the guy they are seeing started staying nights. He treated his place like it's his, tries to tell me what to do, and eats all our food. Or my food, I guess. What is this? You think you own food now? No. This is our food. I tried talking to my parents about it, but they just said it's their house so they can have who they want here. Move out. Yeah, I guess really. I tried to put it up until this guy tried to discipline my dog. All right. Yeah, move out. Just get out of there. And yeah, it looks like I'm currently staying with my boyfriend. Okay, yeah, there you go. Moved in with your boyfriend. Good. Am I the asshole for not paying for my daughter's wedding because she invited my brother and his family? Hold up. This sounds like some juicy drama, chat. I want more information. Give me the juice. I'm 46, my brother 48. When I was 20, my then girlfriend cheated with my brother. All right. Okay. It's like almost 30 years ago. I was heartbroken and pissed. I told him he's no longer my brother. Ooh. Despite my request, my family didn't cut him off. Well, I mean, that's kind of a tall order to ask, like, your entire family to cut off someone because they stole your girl. So I told them I will never again be in the same place as he is. If they wish to invite both, then they should just invite him, as I'm the one giving ultimate. Yep, you're the one giving ultimate. Way to go. This sounds like an easy slam dunk. My daughter's getting married in spring next year. In our culture, both parents are paying for the wedding 50-50. Unexpectedly, my daughter sat me down and told me she'll be inviting my brother, her uncle, and his family. He married my cheating ex. Dude, it sounds like... Okay, I don't know what culture this is. Let's just go to the end and then I'll give my thoughts. Apparently she was seeing them for the last 4 years and built a relationship behind my back. She even wants her cousin to be some kind of flower girl. Disgusting. I was pissed. I told her that she disrespected me. I told her what my boundaries are, and if my brother's invited, I will not pay my part of the wedding. She became angry and told me it's time to let go of the past. I told her it's not her call to make. We argued some more, and she told me I'm making her wedding about myself. I told her I will probably not even attend, so it will be all about her. She left crying. Damn, that's cold. My ex-wife called me screaming. Wait, oh, he's got an ex-wife too? This guy sounds like the real problem here. I'm a huge asshole and our daughter is crushed. Then my parents called, same thing. I told them off and now I'm ignoring their calls. Dude, this guy, wow. My girlfriend told me to reconsider and apologize. Everybody in his life is like, dude, it was 30 years ago. Get over it. And he's just like, no, I will never get over it. Yeah, this guy, okay, this guy's an asshole. Like, whatever. Like, you're basically your high school girlfriend, your college girlfriend is like, I kind of like your brother more than you, so I'm just gonna go be with your brother. And dude is like, I will never get over this. This is like Warhammer dwarf level grudge holding. Everybody is like, dude, chill. And he refuses to. He has no chill. Where is the disrespected counter? There is no disrespected counter. Let me set that up. We haven't had any actual disrespect yet, but if it does show up, I want to make sure that we have it. Disrespect counter 0. There we go. Rilip says, you can't be with my brother because I have no brother. Or you can't invite my brother to your wedding because I have no brother. Oh boy. But yeah, and then now he has an ex-wife, he has a girlfriend. It's like, maybe, wait a minute, what the, okay, yo, so let's see what the other side has to say. What the fuck's happening on Reddit today, man? Not the asshole all the way. This is one of those stories where your daughter has decided she's willing to alienate you for someone that betrayed your trust. It doesn't matter if it was 20 years ago, it only matters that it happened. It does matter if it was 20 years ago. What's going on? Oh, hang on, let's see what's going on. Is it OP is a bad? There have been several posts about women not forgiving sisters who broke up relationships they had, how they didn't want to attend, or oh wait, no, this is actually, never mind, this is the wrong voice for this. How they didn't want to attend or didn't want the sister to attend their weddings and so forth. Mom's not wanting to go if their ex would be present. They get voted not the asshole. Dad wants to stick up for his boundary and boom, asshole. Oh, no, I was right. I should have kept the nerd voice. I guess we know why this one wasn't already read. Yeah, this one should definitely... MRA is the oh, is it the second comment? This one right here? Yeah, right there, MRA. Rilip's got the... he's got the eyes on. Y'all are wild in these comments. If this is real, I'd love to see some of you play Happy Family with your cheating brother. I'm losing it at these. It's been 26 years. Yeah, this is peak Reddit right here. Dude's an asshole and can't get over like his college relationship that... Okay. I guess it's like kind of shitty that it's your brother that she cheated with, but if she cheated with anybody else, like would you be holding it for 30 freaking years, man? Come on. Jeez. Oh boy. Never change, Reddit. Just stay exactly the way you are. Am I the asshole for kicking my sister-in-law out for eating my order? Yeah, no, that's my food. Get out of here. Like a damn dog. Hex is on one hand, you owe nothing to your brother. On the other hand, you were both young and dumb at the time. Yeah, plus it's your daughter like trying to have a connection with her uncle. It's like, man, you clearly aren't very good at relationships because now you have a cheating ex, a divorced wife, a girlfriend who's basically telling you to chill and you refuse. You're like creative writing assignment. My husband's sister moved in with us after a major argument about the baby's name. Wait, what? This isn't culture, it's you, dog. Yeah. I mean, it kind of sucks that like he's expected to pay. Like I never liked that, but that's a cultural thing. That's not for me to just be like, oh well, actually I don't support this particular aspect of our culture, so I will not be paying. Like, all right, whatever. You're the alienated one now. Like, nobody cares that your brother stole your girlfriend 30 years ago. Except for you. Okay, so I am stun locked on this first sentence here. My husband's sister moved in with us after a major argument about the baby's name. They're expecting and she's 7 months in. She's known to be... Well, hold on. You can't just put that as like... So what, your husband's sister, which would be your sister-in-law, maybe, I guess, if they're not married. No, it would be your sister-in-law. If it's your husband's sister, that's your sister-in-law. Yeah, it says in the title. So sister-in-law moved in with us because she had a major argument with her baby daddy, I guess, about the baby's name. She left her boyfriend slash husband's house because they had an argument about what they're going to name their baby. We're already like, we're in deep right now, chat. And then it just casually follows up with, she's known to be picky and refuses to eat what we normally cook. All right, picky sister-in-law, whatever. We only cook her favorite food, which I can't eat. Allergies, yay. Every day at dinner, I have to figure out what to eat since she only eats food that I'm allergic to. Okay. Last night, my husband agreed that he'd cook for her and cook for us together separately. I got home after a long day at work and found out that sister-in-law convinced my husband to only cook the meal she wanted and cancel on the meal we planned to have. I saw them eating together in the kitchen. My husband apologetically said his sister convinced him to eat with her and not cook the meal I wanted us both to have. What the fuck? I said it was fine, then went to order some food from the restaurant. Just, what restaurant? The restaurant. There's only the one. I went to take a shower and did some work on my laptop, then came downstairs to find my order placed in the kitchen counter. It was open, someone ate the majority of it. I turned around and there was sister-in-law standing, saying she woke up hungry but couldn't resist the smell that was coming out of the box. I lost it and yelled at her, asking what the fuck she did, why the fuck she did that. But she said she did save me some, which isn't true because there was only some rice and dressings. We started arguing. I told her I couldn't take this anymore and told her to pack her shit and leave first thing in the morning. She began crying. My husband got involved and defended her up and down, repeatedly saying she's pregnant and is eating for two, basically. Yeah, okay, so you go have your two and I'll have my one. Like, excuse me. You don't touch someone else's crap. That should be a hard rule. Apparently not if you're pregnant. You just, it's open season. You're at work, you see some lunch boxes in the fridge. Oh, I couldn't resist the smell coming out of the fridge. I just went to town on everybody's lunch. I'm eating for two. Can't get mad at me. He suggested I go make myself something quick from the fridge and let it go, but I refused and a bigger argument ensued. Am I the asshole for kicking her out over this? It sounds like this lady has like major issues with boundaries. Well, first of all right. The baby name thing has just completely thrown me for a loop. Why is that? People with kids, man, like pregnant people are just pure insanity. I guess we only see the worst side of society on this particular subreddit, but that's so stupid. Okay, then convincing my husband to only cook the meal she wanted and cancel on the meal we planned to have. So husband does the cooking, apparently, I guess. He's a stay-at-home husband. It's like, okay, I'm gonna cook for both of you guys. I'm gonna make, something for my sister, and then I'm gonna make something for you. And then sister's just like, hey, brother, why didn't you just not cook for your wife? Wouldn't that be hilarious? And then she gets home and she's hungry and there's no food. And then the husband's just like, yeah, that's a great idea. Oh man, you're so smart. We should just get married. This is so stupid. Okay, not the asshole. I mean, I wouldn't let my sister come live with me because both of my sisters are crazy in different ways. So I would just say, no, maybe we can like visit and then like we go our separate ways for like 10 years and then we can get together again. Not the asshole. You don't have a sister-in-law problem. Again, yeah, we're seeing you have a husband problem. We've had this before where there's like the mother-in-law is like, oh, you're my sweet little baby boy. I can't believe you let that witch at home push you around. You should just let me come live with you and I'll take care of you. You have a husband problem. Don't get me wrong. Your sister-in-law sounds like a spoiled, selfish, and entitled piece of work, pregnant or not. But your problem is that your husband is more concerned with her health and happiness than yours. He needs to get his priorities in the right place. How exactly was the husband convinced that his wife, whom he promised to make food for and therefore was expecting it, didn't need to eat dinner and didn't need to be told that she would have no dinner? Apparently literally because she wasn't even allowed the food she got for herself afterwards. Sister-in-law is the asshole, but husband is the bigger asshole. Throw that whole family away. How much you want to bet the like... So I'm going to make up a guy here. Sister-in-law's husband or boyfriend or whatever was like, honey, we should not name the kid Kaylee with like an E, A, U, and X at the end. Like no one's gonna pronounce it right. And she's like, no, I know what I want to name the baby. You're disrespecting me. I'm gonna go live with my brother. He loves me. Like, yeah, I guess he does. Maybe a little bit too much. Boy, oh boy. What else we got? Not the asshole. Honestly, I think your husband should go with her. Oh man. Okay, people are quick to jump on the like husband, divorce your husband, get the gym. But judging from some of these other posts we've seen from like, I left my wife because she said that my kid was speaking too much French in the home. So now I'm a single father, and then I married someone else who had a daughter and they wanted to get cake, but they wanted the cake that I didn't want to get. It's just, it all melds together. Am I the asshole for telling my wife she was so close to getting her dream job? Yo, what the fuck? Let me take a drink. I'm still recovering from the 12-hour stream, by the way, so we'll see how long this is gonna go tonight. It's actually not that bad, but just want to be careful. Don't want to injure my thrusy, you know? I'm a 33-year-old man and my wife is 27. Presumably she is a woman. Since the start of our relationship, my wife has been very particular about how things get done and tends to believe that she knows the one true correct way for anything related to anything. She has admitted that she can be a control freak. While this bothers me, it's never been a true deal breaker in our relationship. I think every relationship needs a control freak. Just someone to really take charge and make sure everything gets done. Like, just lead, follow, or get out of the way, I always say. Very often when I do just about anything, whether it be a household chore, assembling a piece of furniture, taking a picture, or writing a presentation for work in a field where I have a master's degree and she has no formal education, she'll do this thing where she'll condescendingly say, you were so close to getting it right. Really drawing out the so close part. Why? Why would you say that? I've told her dozens of times I'd prefer for her to stop because it sounds so condescending, but she insists that she's complimenting me. No? Saying you were close to getting it right is not a compliment. It's like, you're wrong. But you tried, so, you know, that counts for something. I do the dishes and place them out to dry in an orientation she doesn't approve of. You were so close. Next time, put them in that way. I take a picture of her. I complete a project at work. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. For the last 2 months, my wife has been undergoing an intensive hiring process. I see where this is going. For a job in our city. She works in a highly niche field and seldom finds job openings, and therefore she was ecstatic to have the opportunity for a relatively well-paying job doing what she wants to do. She got to the very final stage where the company was considering 2 people, coincidentally the other of whom was her college roommate. That is pretty coincidental. Well, on Friday she got the call telling her thanks for their application, but blah blah blah, record on file, all that jazz. My wife came to me crying. I immediately comforted her and you were so close, blurted out. Her head whipped up and she asked what I meant by that. I said she was so close to getting the job, but was just a bit off. She immediately walked to stay at her friend's house. Honey, it was a compliment. What are you talking about? You always say that to me. She finally sent me a text this afternoon calling me a huge jerk. Oh, it's good. I like this one. X says, do we need to add a red flag detection class to school now? It wouldn't matter because people wouldn't pay attention. They just sit through it and be like, why didn't they teach us this in school? Hey, asshole, they did. You just weren't paying attention because it was school and nobody was paying attention. Man, you were so close to being the asshole, but after all you've endured, not the asshole. That's good. Way to go, top comment there. Comment of the night right there. Hex says, if she asked what you meant, she obviously means it as an insult every single time. I know, right? Like, she knows what she's doing, and she knows what husband's doing, and husband knows what he's doing, and he knows what she's doing. Everybody knows what she's doing, and everybody knows what everybody else is doing. And that's why she's so pissed. If she really meant it as a compliment, she'd be like, oh, thanks, honey. I tried really hard and I got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. So let's move on to the next one. It was kind of a dick move. Yeah, justified asshole. It's like, What's it? Good for the goose, good for the gander. Good egg. Good. Oh crap! Now I don't know the word. Good observation, Rilip. That's the word I was looking for. Wait, this is a white one. That means there's no flare. What is? I'm scared, chat. What does that mean? Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law, another sister-in-law, that I will call the cops for child abandonment the moment she steps out of the house? Dude, what? It's like, hey, I need to go get groceries. Child abandonment. Calling the cops. Me, 25, my brother Jack, 27, M and his wife Jill are, those aren't real names. Those are fake. You made those up. That's phony. It all started when Jack and Jill got pregnant. They went up the hill to fetch a pail of water, and then, you know, one thing led to another, and 9 months later, baby pops out. Their lease almost ended, and my parents their lease almost ended. You were so close to having your lease end, and my parents invited them to stay at our house. What do you mean our house? Like a parent's house? The day they came, Jack asked me why I haven't moved out of my room yet. I was confused, like, what the fuck? And he told me that he and Jill will be at my room and I go to the guest room. No, the guest room is for guests. This is my room. I refused, but my parents got mad. We got into a fight and I lost and ended it in the much smaller guest room. Oh boy, here we go. Then Jill had a problem with my cooking. I eat scrambled eggs with mozzarella and avocado every day for breakfast. Yo, what the fuck? Okay, first of all, gross. Second of all, that shouldn't really matter. She couldn't stand the smell. She asked me to stop. I refused. My parents got involved. I had to stop. There were problems with other food too, and I had to stop cooking them. I was told I must be accommodating because she was pregnant. God damn, these fucking pregnant people. Get over yourself. People have been getting pregnant for generations. You're not the first one. You don't get to bitch about everything. Dude needs to move. Yeah, dude probably does need to move out. However, wait, who needs to? Jack needs to move out, or OP needs to move out? Because it sounds like OP needs to move out. But also Jack and Jill should probably move out. I don't know. It's America. Like, yes, it's kind of shitty that you're expected to move out as soon as you turn 18. But also, like, if you want to not have to deal with your parents' rules, then yeah, you got to move out. Everybody moves out. Just everybody leave. Out of my house. Okay, she's pregnant. Like, that's my problem. How is that my problem? Then Jill started to boss me around. We were alone for 8 hours while my parents and Jack worked. She obviously thought I will be her personal maid. I refused. She threw a temper tantrum like always, and I had a big fight with Jack and my parents. I was told she had a high-risk pregnancy and was on bed rest, and I'm an asshole for not helping her. I told Jack that he knocked her up. It's his responsibility. I stood my ground. Dude, just move out. This is miserable. I stood my ground, and in the end, I guess he doesn't have a job apparently because he's just at home all day. Maybe he's a NEET, like he can't move out because he has no skills and no education and can't get a job. Okay. Then Jill gave birth to my nephew. I congratulated them when they came home, and that's it. I don't like babies. Based. So I mostly keep for myself now, but that doesn't stop Jill to ask for favors. Please watch the baby while I take a quick shower. Please watch it while I make myself some food, etc. I always refuse when we all have new fights over and over again. It all came to a head last Friday when she asked me to watch my nephew while she goes to pharmacy for baby formula. I refused. She got mad. We had a fight. She grabbed her purse to go anyway. I told her that the moment she walks out the door, I will call the police for child abandonment. I was serious and she knew it. Would the police even show up for that? They'd be like, yeah, that's a civil matter. Like, you're gonna have to, like, sue your sister-in-law or whatever. We don't deal with that. She broke down and screamed what a horrible human being I am. Then she ran to her room. She had a complete mental breakdown. I doubt she had a complete mental breakdown. When Jack and my parents came home, we had the biggest fight yet. Jack accused me of hating Jill and my nephew. True, I do, yes. Upon other things, I told him I refused to bond because they will weaponize him against me. My parents told me enough is enough, that they can't believe they raised such a selfish human being, and that either I help or I move out. I'm thinking the second option. Yeah, get the fuck out. Oh, hold on. I work from home and pay 50% of all household expenses, including mortgage. Yeah, just boogie, man. Just get out of there. Sounds like you got everything all together. They would have to come out for the report. They wouldn't have to. They could just be like, yeah, we're not gonna respond to that. This is America. We don't have to do anything. I mean, maybe they would if they were bored. Like, oh, you have to babysit your sister-in-law, your brother's kid. You have to babysit your nephew, and you call the police on this? Are you out of your mind? That's not how this works. Obviously, I'm not giving the police a whole lot of benefit of the doubt here, but also, I think the fact that Jill was like, Jill should have just called his bluff, being like, okay, yeah, go ahead and call the cops, see what they have to say. And then she goes to get formula. I don't know, this whole family sounds like a real piece of work, but Brillup says, you pay 50% of the rent and their parents kicked you out for your room? F that. Yeah, really. This, like, I don't know, I would have, obviously I moved out when I was 17, so I don't have a whole lot of experience with this kind of relationship with my parents, but it just sounds really bad, so maybe just leave. This sounds like a super shitty situation. All right, so why can't Jill take the baby with her on her errands? Why do you still live at home? How much rent do you pay? How much rent do Jack and Jill pay? Jill just doesn't want to parent her child all day. Yeah, what is up with, I don't want to say like women, because that's, I don't just mean it like that, but like people who have children and trying to like pawn them off. Like, listen, you have a kid, I know it sucks, but you have to like be a parent. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm sorry, because I'm not, but you signed up for this basically when you decided to you know, go through with the whole situation. Heck says, I wouldn't mind watching a baby, but at the same time I'd be paranoid something goes wrong. Yeah, it's like, oh no, my the kid stopped breathing, what do I do? Oh wait, no, he's just sleeping. Okay, we're good. Yeah, I'm not a fan of kids. If I had to watch a kid on short notice, I guess I wouldn't complain too much, assuming it didn't mess with my schedule. My wife would probably throw a tantrum though. She'd be like, there's no way, I don't want to see that kid. You're taking care of that kid on your own. You're gonna have to feed it and water it and clean up its poop. And I'd be like, dude, he's like 12. He can take care of his own poop. I'll give him some Kool-Aid and like a Nutri-Grain bar. He'll be fine. Anyway, let's go to the next one, chat. Kids are a lot of work. I get wanting to pawn them off, but it'll get you on Reddit. Yeah, you'll be the asshole in that situation. Like, listen, you want everybody to like fawn over you because you had a kid, then act like a reasonable parent, and then you won't end up on Am I the Asshole? Starshard for Parent of the Year. Listen, I would proudly take care of a kid old enough to wipe their own butt. But as soon as you're like, here's my baby, oh yeah, he like has been having tummy problems, so he's been pooping a whole lot, so you're gonna have to deal with that. I am doing a 360 and I'm out of there. Next one, chat. We can talk about my love of children later. Am I the asshole for dumping the truth on my sister? Okay, well, let's take a little drink of water here, and then we'll see if OP is the asshole. Gotta stay hydrated, chat. My parents had 2 girls, me, 17F, and my sister, 14F. Hey, you're under 18, get off Reddit. I've always felt like my parents saw me as a babysitter, as a third adult in the house, which at 17 you basically are, and have expected me to be a 40-year-old kid / teenager. Whereas my sister was their baby. They spoiled her rotten. They adore her. I don't want to read any more of this. This is fucking stupid. This is just like, oh my god, I had to like go to school today, and then my parents said I had to watch my sister, but I didn't want to go. I didn't want to do that because I wanted to go hang out with my friends after school. It's like, listen, you're in high school. I know it sucks. You can hate your parents when you graduate. I'm not going to listen to a 17-year-old bitch about having to like live in a society. Am I the asshole for ordering takeout after my husband tricked me to cook for his kids? What? His kids? Guess what? He has 2. Well, here we go again. Am I the asshole? Hello. So to give some context, I, F35, have been married to my husband, M37, for 6 months. He has 2 children from 2 different uninvolved mothers, and they live with us full time. The kids are 7 and 10. again, these guys, like, how do you end up in this kind of situation, guys? Maybe it's because I got married when I was like 19, but I've never been in a position where I could have possibly had not just a kid, like a kid from someone that I wasn't in a relationship with, but let alone two. I work long hours and it's a demanding job time-wise. My husband thinks it's just because I work from home that I can pause whenever, but it's untrue. True, yeah. All right. He'd ask me to, it's like me when I stream. Like, I'm just because I'm at home doesn't mean I can just stop and, you know, vacuum or something. He'd ask me to do things for the kids or him during work hours, but I told him I'm working and unavailable during those hours and the kids are his responsibility till I'm done. Yesterday, he told me he wanted to go attend a friend's engagement dinner and asked if I could take time off work to make the kids dinner. I told him absolutely not and insisted that he cook for them or order takeout. He said he had no time to cook and takeout was off the table since he doesn't want them to eat fast food. He later said fine and that he was going to cook dinner, then go to the party. What do you mean you can take time off work? Maybe if you have to schedule that ahead of time. I don't know what she does work from home wise. I know when I work from home, I'm basically just like chilling here. So I could absolutely take time off work and cook dinner. I wouldn't though, because I'm not allowed to use the stove anymore. 2 hours later, the kids came in and said they were hungry. I was puzzled. I asked if their dad had cooked them dinner and they said he didn't. Moreover, he told them to come ask me to cook for them at exactly 7 p.m. I was so pissed to find myself in this situation. I took a few minutes off the meeting and ordered takeout from the nearby restaurant and fed the kids, then had them watch TV, then go to sleep. He came home at 11 and went off on me after he discovered I didn't cook like he was counting on me to do. This guy sounds like a real piece of work. What the hell? This is like a sitcom. No, because this isn't funny. You couldn't put this in a sitcom and make this funny. This would just be miserable. Not only that, but he yelled about feeding the kids takeout. I argued back saying I had no choice after he basically tricked me into cooking for them knowing I was busy. So I ordered food and made sure the kids were fed while I focused on work. He ranted about how I care more about work than my stepchildren, God forbid, and called me selfish, then went upstairs and refused to talk to me. Okay, man, baby. He's still sulking about it. I was gonna say skulking, but that's actually a different thing that you do. Sitcoms are funny. They're meant to be funny. I'm not saying all sitcoms are inherently funny. Just like this situation is not funny, so it wouldn't be in a sitcom. But I guess then you could say, oh well, the sitcom is actually just bad, and it's like an Everybody Loves Raymond situation. He's still sulking about it today and says I need to get my priorities in order because they're messed up. Okay. So before we get to the info piece, let's read the info piece first. About the friend's engagement. My husband has this friend from college. They're close. He couldn't miss the event. Moreover, he said he was upset with me for missing the event and now refusing to cook a homemade healthy meal and ordering takeout knowing it's a no-go for him. Dude, what is this guy's problem? It's just, it's food. Not everything you get from a restaurant is like, you're putting poison in your body. Like, I got a cheeseburger. Like, who cares? You're not gonna die from one cheeseburger. I mean, I might. There's too much cheese on it, but the reason I expected him to cook, other than the fact that I was busy, was that he usually cooks for them, so it's both of our responsibility. Does he work? Yes, but barely. He works at a warehouse twice a week. His friend's dad owns the warehouse, and so he has a lot of leverage. More context on the mothers. One is an ex-wife, the other's an ex-girlfriend. Both left for financial reasons, he said, but I'm not fully convinced by that. Okay, well, that's totally unimportant. It doesn't matter. Like, the kids are his kids, basically. If you're married to your husband and he has stepkids, I think they're basically your kids also. I don't know the logistics of that. If you're this wound up about eating out, maybe you should prepare your food in advance. Yeah, meal prep Monday. So what OP works from home, and it's not the kind of work from home where you can just like get up and do whatever. She has to probably be on, I don't know, she's like meets with clients, or I mean, she doesn't specify what she does. Probably not important. Just she's unavailable while she's at work. It's basically like she's at an office. And the husband and kids, I guess, I mean, the kids, you can't blame them. They're 7 and 10. The husband does not respect the fact that she is at work. It just so happens that it's in the next room instead of, you know, across town. That being said, yeah, this guy's an asshole. OP is not an asshole. She fed the kids. And this guy sounds like a giant man baby, and it's no wonder he has 2 kids from previous relationships that don't want to have anything to do with him. Throw the entire husband in the trash. Yeah, really. He told you that you needed to get your priorities in order when he left his children unfed to attend a party. Why did you marry this quote-unquote man? You're telling me. Oof. So another shitty husband. Oh, speaking of husbands, am I the asshole for calling my sister's husband a piece of shit because he's representing my ex in our divorce? Maybe. I asked my ex for a divorce 2 months ago, and I found out a week later that my sister's husband was going to be his solicitor. I wasn't completely surprised, as my ex has helped his career a lot, but I was still hurt when my sister told me. Why? He's just a lawyer. He's not trying to, like, murder you. He didn't hire a hitman. I've avoided him since finding out, but my parents invited everyone over for dinner, and I missed them, so I went. I tried really hard to bite my tongue, but he kept referring to me as my ex's wife and told me that if he was me, he would stay married because I was going to lose a lot if I divorced my ex. All right, dude. I ended up telling him he's a real piece of shit in front of everybody, including his daughter. Are you going to say that to every lawyer that is going to represent your soon-to-be ex or whatever? Because it shouldn't matter. Like, this guy's a professional. I mean, it's kind of shitty that he's like, you're going to lose a lot if I get divorced. My sister got angry at me for saying that in front of her daughters, but I was so mad I told her I didn't care because he's a bastard, and now she's pissed at me. Yeah, you're an asshole. Like that, be a little more professional. Like, oh no, a lawyer's represented by soon-to-be ex, and he's gonna be at a party. Oh, I have to like go off on him. So I'm gonna go against the hive mind here again and say you're the asshole. Like, it sucks that you're getting divorced, but like, don't take it out on the lawyer. Just get your own lawyer and go wrap it up, deal with it. Not the asshole. Do not socialize with your brother-in-law or give him or your sister access to information about you right now. It could be used against you. I'm frankly shocked that your brother-in-law... That's also another thing, true. There's kind of a representational aspect. This is solicitor, so it's going to be the UK. Possibly a raid from possibly an alien. Well, now that you guys are here, guess what? I have a very special some art to show you guys. Hold on, let me find my history. So I put together let's see. I wanted to make possibly an alien some fan art, but since I am not an artist, I went ahead and used DALL-E 2 to generate some art. And so I generated a human that is possibly an alien with geometric elements in the background, realist style digital art. And I got a couple of pretty awesome pieces of art. Speaking of art, possibly an alien was last seen doing art. And she's pretty darn good at it. OMG, she says. You like it? I also, while we're here, so I started off, I was like, a digital art of what is possibly an alien. I wanted to kind of get a feel for what the AI was going to interpret possibly as an alien. And we just have what are aliens. Then I was like, something that is possibly an alien realist style. I kind of like this little fella. He's kind of cool over here on the right. They're all a little lacking in hair. Yeah, maybe I can probably rerun the prompt and be like with hair. Then I did something that is possibly an alien realist style digital art. So we ended up getting some digital art images here. And these are just straight up aliens. And then I said a human that is possibly an alien, realist style digital art. And then that gave us a little closer to what I was looking for. And finally, I just went all in. I was like, a human that is possibly an alien with geometric elements in the background, realist style, and digital art. Here, let's try this one with long, or like with like beautiful hair. Let's try that one. I gotta say, I am loving this AI art stuff, because it lets someone like me, who would normally, someone would ask like, hey, what kind of art do you want? And I'd be like, I don't know, just give me something. I can actually do that, except I get results in like 10 seconds. So artists out there, I hate to like tell you this, but your jobs may be getting a lot harder and a lot scarcer. So look for that patron right now. Like 3 is the closest. Yeah, 3 is pretty good. Because it's like, is this a human, or is this it's possibly an alien? But we don't know. We just don't know, chat. And while we're looking at these, I also decided, hey, what if we made my little fella? You guys know my little star shard fella here. And I decided to just run the prompt. I started with blue and green crystal golem flying through space. It got pretty close right off the bat. And then I was like, make him humanoid. Okay, he's too smooth. And then I said, okay, give him some spikes. Boom. This is exactly, I think this is the one that I said was like the closest to what I was looking for. These two right here. I mean, they're all pretty good. This one's a little bit too like comic book-y. I think AI, yeah, AI is a great tool for artists, I think. Because it lets you like visualize something or come up with a concept without having to invent it from whole cloth, right? Number 3 has a, yeah, number 3 is definitely a little more dynamic. And yeah, see, Rilip is 100% agree with you. This is more my style. This is like a good pose though. And then I also did Ice King of Space. And I actually sent him the 4th one to show on his stream. It's like, okay, what do you imagine when you think the Ice King of Space? Boom, right there. Those, I know, right? Really, those are super cool. And then I showed it to him. I'm like, hey, I made this art, kind of. And he's like, okay, he's got like a beard and he's like too old. So I'm like, okay, fine. Make him younger, give him longer hair. Boom. Got him. You like that it's not 4 white men? Well, one of them's blue, I guess. Oh, no, this guy's got darker skin. But yeah, and then, so we ended up with the Ice Prince of Space, basically. They're like Adventure Time. Yeah, I think maybe it was drawing from that. Which makes sense, because when you say Ice King, that's who you think of. So this was pretty successful. And then I did Urban Venture Mission Control. And that one didn't quite go as well. We got a lot of weird nonsense. Unsar Viction. I mean, this one's kind of funny. It's like a logo or something. And then I did King Dog Speed. Just gave me some dogs. 2 of whom are running, 2 of whom are just chilling. Urban Venture. Yeah, Urban Venture is a bit abstract, right? So King Dog Speed was not quite as fruitful. What was the next one I did? I just did, all right, this is how I started. I just put possibly an alien. And we got like bugs and stuff. DALL-E has invented its own language by now. It really, yeah, if you know what to tell it, it can give you some pretty dang good stuff. But yeah, so just wanted to share some art with you guys tonight, especially since possibly an alien's here. Thanks, Raiders, for coming in. Hope you guys had a good time with the art. But now, it is time. Wait a minute. Where'd the things go? Ah, crap. Hold on. Go back, go back. There we are. This is our first. Okay, it's not a asshole one. It's an everyone sucks here. But let's see how this one goes. Am I the asshole for missing my father-in-law's funeral after my mother-in-law booked my husband's first class, but me economy? Oh, it's another one of these ones, huh? It's another, my husband gets to go first class and I have to go economy, or vice versa. Oh, Hex is saying the written symbols. Yeah, I'm not sure how it handles language. It's kind of like, it's like dream logic, right? It's like the symbols just kind of, they're there. It's like it's a language, but it doesn't really mean anything. Why is every family so dysfunctional? I don't know. I feel like my family is not dysfunctional. Well, me and my wife and our cat are not dysfunctional, but I think it's just, it's a side effect of living in a society. Like the Joker always says. Me, F31, and my mother-in-law don't have a close relationship. Oh, really? Does she come over and like pinch her husband's cheeks and she's like, oh, my sweet baby boy, did that mean woman not cook the right food for you? Let me cook you up something that you like, my sweet baby boy. She's civil towards me, but can be a bit passive aggressive at times, and we tend to disagree often. We live in a different state. Father-in-law passed away suddenly, and mother-in-law told me and my husband to come attend the funeral. She booked our tickets to fly to her state, but the issue started when my husband told me that we couldn't sit together in the plane because his mom had booked him a first-class ticket while I got economy. I was flabbergasted by this. Were you? Were you flabbergasted? Do you have pictures? I tried asking him why, but he urged me to suck it up. We'll talk about it later. No. What is there to talk about? Suck it up. We'll talk about it later. How much later? Because my guess is he's not going to ever want to talk about it. In that moment, that particular moment, I felt so much humiliation and contempt. I felt like she was treating me as less than even in her hard times. Oh, treating me as less than even in her hard times. That doesn't make a very good sentence. Alien says, I think the family structure lends itself to dysfunction. Like one or two random people being the main influence on a child's worldview. Weird. I mean, my worldview was mostly influenced by SpongeBob SquarePants, so I mean, is it any worse? I decided to not go and just go back home. What do you mean go back? You didn't know that you were... I guess if you're not like following up on that stuff, you don't know where you're sitting. My husband was shocked by my decision to go home and tried to convince me to just go, but I declined. Yeah. I'm okay. Sure. He went alone and I ended up missing the funeral. He was livid, just calling me and texting nasty things, calling me petty and spoiled. Yeah, another garbage husband one. He said that I should be grateful his mom paid for my ticket to begin with, then said that she doesn't owe me a goddamn thing. I argued about how she could have just booked us both in economy if money was an issue, but he called me pathetic for thinking about it when his dad just died. He said it was cruel what I did and that his mom and family will never forget that I missed the funeral over ridiculous reasons. I'm going to put some emphasis on ridiculous because that doesn't sound ridiculous. That sounds like, oh yeah, and I guess you can bring your little pet too. She can ride in the back. Am I the asshole for going home over this? Okay. So, what do we think, chat? Do we agree that everyone sucks here? I don't know why we're getting everyone sucks. It sounds like just mother-in-law sucks and husband sucks. I would have, if I had known, if husband was like, listen, my mom booked me on first, you know what I would have done? I would have been like, honey, my mom booked me first class and you economy, but okay, if it's the US, they're like really strict about these things. I don't know if you can switch seats. I don't know if you can be like, hey, can I like turn in my first class ticket to like sit next to my wife? I mean, that happens, right? You can be like, hey, dude, you're sitting next to my wife. I have a first class ticket. Do you want to like switch and you can go have first class and I can sit by my wife? I bet anybody would go for that deal, right? Yeah, but also his dad just died, so he's probably not thinking clearly. But also the mother-in-law is just apparently just awful to her all the time anyway. So this is just yet another problem. It's a reason I don't go visit my family ever, because it just seems like a bad time. Why didn't he do that? Right. That's what I'm saying, Alien. It's like, there are 100 different ways you can go about this, but like, suck it up and we'll talk about it later. What? While we're on the plane? Oh wait, I guess we can't. I don't know that I would have gone home because I'm already at the airport. I don't want to go through that. Everybody sucks here. The seat issue was more important than supporting your husband after the death of his father. Okay, that's where we're getting everybody sucks here. This is exactly the point. Obviously, mother-in-law's an asshole and her actions were uncalled for and petty, but you made your husband go to his father's funeral without the support of his spouse, and you did this over a first-class seat. You played right into your mother-in-law's hands and may have caused irreparable damage to your marriage. Oof. Yay. You're the asshole? Oh, wow. We're getting a straight you're the asshole. It was very shitty from your mother-in-law to book you in economy class while your husband was in first class, but you let a petty quarrel with your mother-in-law prevent you from supporting your husband when he needed you the most. Do whatever. If my dad dies, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not even going, so it doesn't matter. But I guess depending on how close this guy is to his parents, maybe it's important to him. Everybody has their little quirks, right? Everybody sucks. I'm leaning towards, yeah, everybody sucks. Sure, why not? They could have worked something out. Mother-in-law, yeah, the mother-in-law was the one who caused the damage. I think maybe OP should have been the bigger lady, but is just probably tired of dealing with stuff like that constantly. So hard to blame her. I'm not worried about my dad's not gonna watch this. I can't even get like my friends to watch my stream, so like I'm gonna get my family members to do it. Am I the asshole for returning my stepdaughter's birthday gift because she didn't save a cupcake for my daughter? God, these fucking, don't get remarried. Just take your lumps and be a single parent. Like, I know it sucks, but I have never seen a situation with stepkids that worked out well that wasn't the Brady Bunch. Feel free to throw some new, throw some examples at me from real life, not from fiction. I won't read them, but you can put them in the chat. I'm F33, engaged to my fiance, M36. I have a 4-year-old daughter. He has a 16-year-old daughter. Just don't do it. Don't do it. It's too much baggage. He comes from a conservative family, so we won't move in together till after marriage. Dude, they already have kids. Who cares? What religion is, what conservative is this? Like, they're in their 30s. So far, we're on good terms. Like, I can't think of a conservative sect or whatever that would even let you get divorced that would not also let you move in with your fiance. That's absurd. How can your ultra conservative family be influencing things when you're 36? I know, right? So far, we're on good terms as a blended family. No, you're not. But I noticed my stepdaughter acts kind of distant towards my daughter. Yeah, because they don't know each other. It's like a stranger. Every time I try to talk to my fiance about it, he'd tell me to give the kids a chance to bond and warm up to each other. Yeah, do that. I mean, she's 16, the other kid's 4. Like, if I was 16 and someone's like, hey, this is your new sibling now, here you go, I'd be like, whoa, that's not how this works. Like, give me some time to like live together or whatever. My stepdaughter's 16th birthday took place on Sunday. Since she's into baking, she decided to bake cupcakes instead of having an actual birthday cake. First of all, gross. Have I ranted about cupcakes? All right, okay, here's my quick rant about cupcakes. You have taken cake, a food that is barely edible on its own, and then you have turned it into a, like, quote unquote single serve piece of cake. It's basically like a piece of cake, except it's gross because it's like 90% crust on the bottom. Nobody wants that. And then you top it with like 6 inches of frosting, and I'm like, oh, it's like a 1-bite food because I can fit a whole cupcake in my mouth, no problem. Except every time I try to bite into it, the frosting goes up my nose I was like, how am I supposed to eat this? Because I don't just want to get a big bite of frosting off the top. Just let me find a freaking picture of a cupcake so I can explain what I'm talking about. X likes frost. I'm not gonna like. I don't want to steal like someone's joy and they love frosting. I want to find an example of what I'm talking about. Here we go. I found a link. Oh, I just want the dang picture. Don't take me to some random ass baking site. Here we go. All right, chat. Behold. This is too much frosting. This is a 1-to-1 cake to frosting ratio. If I try to bite into this, where do I even begin? If I start on the side, I'm gonna get frosting up my nose. If I start at the bottom, I'm gonna end up with just frosting. And if I start at the top, I'm also gonna just get frosting. You just get frosting in your mustache? I don't know. So what I do is I open my mouth as wide as it'll go, which is like 6 inches. I shove the whole cupcake in there, and then I choke it down. And every time I do that, it's no good. It never works out. So I'm done with cupcakes. I don't want them anymore. There's a joke in, no, Rilip, I understand the joke. I've talked about how I can fit a whole water bottle in my mouth. We've done this before. I guess I didn't do it on stream. I don't have the camera tonight, so I can't. Maybe Friday we'll do it before the, you know, you can bite on a cupcake. Okay, hold up. Yeah, I know I can bite on a cupcake. The problem is, if I grab the cupcake by the base and I eat it horizontal, I hold the cupcake vertically and I bite a horizontal chunk out of it or whatever. It's like frosting is gonna go up my nose because it's so freaking tall. Like this one is okay. I could deal with this. It's just when the frosting is like 3 inches tall. KSP speedrunning strats. Eat a water bottle. You don't eat the water bottle. You just put it in your mouth to show that you can. All right, too much frosting. Anyway, we're getting off topic. Let's talk about this. She decided to bake cupcakes instead of having an actual birthday cake. Fine. My daughter and I went over to my fiance's house to attend the party, and I brought my stepdaughter a gift, which was an iPhone. Ooh, new iPhone? Oh no, it's an iPhone 5. Ugh. Hex has never seen a cupcake without short. We can assume that is, I don't think we can assume it's an exception, actually. Every time I get cupcakes from like a store, it's like a little thing about, you know, it's got like a dozen cupcakes or whatever. You get it from the grocery store and it just has a shitload of frosting on there. Or sometimes it'll have frosting and then they'll put like a Reese's peanut butter cup on top and it'll be like peanut butter cupcake. And I'm like, so now not only do I have to bite through the frosting and the muffin part, the cupcake part, I also have to bite into this piece of candy. It's too much. There's too much. Like a cupcake, we'll go back to the image. A cupcake should be a little bit of cake and a little bit of frosting. As soon as you turn it into a monstrosity, I'm gonna try to find one. I'm gonna find a cupcake. No, I don't want it to look like an adorable like Muppet monster. Cupcake disaster. No, this isn't what I'm looking for. Cupcake too big? Is that a subreddit? Why can't I find what I'm looking for? I just want a cupcake that has too much stuff on it. Like, what? Oh, what? Hold up, chat. Wait a minute. I just found this link. I want to share this now. This isn't what I was looking for, but I'll take it. Excuse me? What are these? Chat, do we have any, can we get some, I don't know. Anyway, here's the cupcakes that I was talking about, apparently. Is this considered TOS? It can't be. It's just cupcakes. It's fine. It's nothing weird here. Whatever. I'm ranting about cupcakes again. Alien, do you want some cupcakes now? I'll have you some cupcakes delivered. Where were we? My daughter and I, we got an iPhone. We sat down and she started serving everyone cupcakes. Then when it was my daughter's turn, she bluntly said she was sorry, but she didn't save any for my daughter. What? I felt confused. I asked if she made enough cupcakes and whether there were guests that came uninvited. She said no. She just didn't make one for my daughter. I asked why. She refused to say. Yo, hold up. What do you mean you refused to say? I was so mad and felt hurt on my daughter's behalf. I got up and told my fiance that I wanted to leave. My fiance tried to stop me and offered his cupcake to my daughter, but I refused to take it. On the way out, I grabbed the gift I bought for my stepdaughter and she stood there and watched. I could hear her yell, "Dad, she took the iPhone," while I was walking out with my daughter. My fiance tried to get me to go back inside, but I refused. Dude, this guy is like 100% based. What the heck? No, it's okay. It's not about the cupcake. Really, it's about the principle of the thing. The cupcake doesn't matter. People come to your party. You say you're making cupcakes. What are you gonna show up? Someone shows up to your party and you're just like, oh, you don't get a piece of cake. It's like, oh, is there not enough cake for everybody? Did too many people show up? No, you just don't get a piece of cake because fuck you, which is what she basically was saying. Later, he came over and we had an argument. He said that I overreacted and that I know how some teenagers can be moody and do random stuff without an explanation, so I shouldn't have taken it personally. I said she excluded my daughter and she didn't save her a cupcake, but he said it was not just a cupcake. It's the principle of the thing. And then reminded me that he offered his cupcake and I said I should have accepted it and called it a day. He said taking the iPhone, which was supposed to be a gift, back was poor taste and it might hurt my relationship with his daughter. It's hurting my relationship with you right now. I refused to give it to him so he could give it to her since she was crying about it. He left and was mad at me. We haven't talked since then except via text. Why exclude the child? You gotta get over it. Yeah, okay, then she's gotta get over not getting the iPhone for being a selfish bitch. How about that? It's not just about the cupcakes. It's about you. This person was invited to your party. What, you can't come up with an explanation? You can't even be like, I don't like that she's like I'm being forced to accept this new person into my life and I'm lashing out. Maybe that's like the unspoken thing. She's 16. I get it. I was 16 at one point. Except what did I do when I was 16? Play a lot of video games, I guess. Don't get married. You're both terrible. Oh, boy. Yeah. I don't know, Alien. I don't know why she's excluding the child. I mean, she's 16. These things happen, but the fact she wouldn't even say, she's like, I don't know. I just don't know. I didn't feel like making an extra cupcake. The dad should have talked. Yeah, dad should have talked to the daughter. He's just trying to get the damn iPhone, though. It's like, Dad, she's taking the iPhone that we had been trying to scam. Like, I know you were saying you're gonna marry her so she'd buy us the iPhone. Remember? That was the whole, we're running the scam. All right. Obviously, first post, first comment, not the asshole, don't marry this man. He will clearly expect you to cater to his child at the expense of your own. We've seen how that goes in other posts today with the freaking cake. So much birthday cake going on. Yeah, that exactly. Alien's got the point. Like, sit down and be like, hey, I understand. Like, you're upset. I get it. It's like, I'm engaged to marry this woman who has her own kids. It's going to be a blended family. I understand it's rough, but you're 16. You're basically an adult. You should probably like get over it. What? Like, how do you deal with that? Listen, I joined the army when I was 18, but I moved out when I was 17, and then I joined the army like 3 months later. So I have very little sympathy for teenagers or people in their 20s who are like, oh, but she was mean to me. oh man, my girlfriend cheated on me with my brother, and I have no brother. It's like, no, it's like sometimes you just, like, life sucks and then you die. Try to find the little joys when you can. Am I the asshole for yelling at my husband when he ate some of my chocolate and making him drive across the city to replace them? What? You ate my chocolate? That was for me. I'm pregnant and driving sucks. Yeah, here we go. Another pregnant one. So my mom drives me around because my husband is working huge hours to get ahead before the baby comes. Last month, she drove me to my favorite chocolate store and I stocked up on my favorite flavors. The store has dozens of flavors of chocolate individually wrapped in colorful foil so you can tell the flavor. The store is about an hour's drive away from our home. My husband knows my favorite flavor. Half the bag was originally that flavor, but by now it's just even with the others. He came home from work yesterday and after supper we were going to sit and watch TV. I waddled over to the couch and asked him to please bring me 2 of my chocolates. He did, and he grabbed a few for himself. No problem there. He came back to the couch with a chocolate in his mouth. When he kissed me, I knew what flavor he took. He admitted he took the Stracciatella ones, my favorite. I got kind of upset. He said it was no big deal. I could go with mom and get some more. Yes, this company sells their chocolate everywhere, but that flavor, I've only ever seen this flavor in their store. I asked if he'd been eating that flavor a lot, and his face told me everything I needed to know. I yelled at him, and that it's not easy for me to sit in a car for 2 hours. He said he would go out right now and replace them. Jeez, dude. This woman is gonna be an awful person to live with for the rest of your life. You ate my chocolates? Chocolate? That episode of SpongeBob where they're going door to door selling chocolate? I remember when they first invented chocolate. I always hated it. He hit a couple of drugstores and a couple of grocery stores. They all told him the same thing. What do you mean they all told him the same thing? They're like, hey, dude, yeah, we sell chocolate. I don't know what you're talking about. We don't have that flavor. He drove across town and came back with a big bag of just that flavor. While he was gone, I called my mom and she said I need to calm down because my hormones are making me crazy. Yeah, maybe just a little bit. I apologized to my husband, but he's still grumpy that he drove around for hours just to get me chocolate. I think he should know better than to eat my favorite flavor. Man, pregnant women be crazy. Yeah, with Patrick, the episode where they steal the balloon and they're like on the run and all they have are the 2 chocolate bars. Patrick eats his immediately. Like, hey, somebody ate my chocolate. Patrick, you just ate your chocolate. I think I would know if I had eaten my chocolate. My husband is wonderful and he went out looking to replace my chocolate. After he didn't find it nearby, he chose to drive across town. Yes, you're the asshole. Are you crazy? It's chocolate. Like, who cares? Just eat some chocolate. He had to get the chocolate right then and there? Was all the chocolate gone? Jeez. I clearly recall sobbing during my first pregnancy over a brand of potato chips that was discontinued, and my husband came home with an unsuitable to me replacement. It was ridiculous, and years later we laugh about it. So will you. Yeah. All right. Oh boy. Very much the asshole. Yeah, all the people saying not the asshole, like you're pregnant so you get a free pass on everything that you do. It's like, no, you still have to, like, you're still a human. You have to, like, keep your wits about you. To be like, okay, I understand. Like, you ate my chocolate. It's my favorite chocolate. I'm pregnant. Everything's making me, like, upset right now. It's cool. We'll just get, you know, we'll get more next time we go to the chocolate store. Maybe just, like, buy, like, a lifetime supply or something if you're going to be like that. Am I the asshole for giving my brother and his wife 2 days to return my piano? No, but you're probably an asshole if you're, like, I don't know, doing something else. This doesn't even sound interesting, but we'll go through it anyway. I, F32, developed an interest for piano after meeting my late husband, who was a piano teacher for 7 years. He taught me to play it and he helped me buy one. used one, but still a bit expensive 2 years ago. I play it every day after his passing 6 months ago. I just find comfort spending time playing. However, my brother and his wife, who came to stay with me for 2 months after losing their apartment, always complain about the piano noise, although I only play at daytime. Sister-in-law and I started arguing more frequently. My brother told me to only play it when they're out, but I refused. Excuse me, when you're a guest in someone's house at their expense, you don't get to bitch about what they do in their freaking house. Yesterday, I was out with my friends for the day, and when I came home in the evening, I found my piano was gone. Turns out my brother had moved it to a friend's garage. Okay. I don't know which friend. While I was gone, I blew up at him and yelled that he had no right to touch or move it. His wife said they did this as a last-ditch effort to get some peace and quiet in the house. Oh boy. Chat, how angry can we get tonight? This has gotta be fake, right? I mean, come on. No, because this is it's so absurd. I wouldn't believe it. I would not believe it that someone made this up. His wife's, yeah, the peace and quiet. My brother reassured me he'll give it back once he finds his own place, and I get to live alone and play the piano all day long. He was being sarcastic in his last line and couldn't take it. I told him to pack and leave my house because they're no longer welcome after this. He freaked out and tried begging me to take it easy and be more rational. Be more rational? I have not begun to be irrational. But I threatened to call the police if they refused to leave. He took his family and left. The piano still isn't back. They're saying they'd give it back if I agree to let them move back in. No, that's not how that works. Basically wanting things to go back to how they were when they were complaining about the noise. They believe that what happened was a misunderstanding. The only misunderstanding right now is going to be you standing under miss. And every one of us mishandled the situation, so they wanted to start new. I lost it and told them they have 2 days to return it or I'll call the cops on them. Mom is pressuring me to take them back, saying it was my fault for not having any consideration for them as my guest to begin with. But I refused to take them back and put my foot down on the timeline I gave. Now I'm being called irrational and cruel to kick my brother out. Watch him struggle and refuse to let him move back in and choosing to escalate this to the authorities when I could just let them move back in and I get my piano back. Yo. Oh boy. Yeah, you don't get to... These fucking people, if whenever I have stayed with someone, I will basically be their slave. I'll be like, yeah, you need anything done? Sure, no problem. If someone let me live with them rent free, which I'm assuming was the situation here, you better believe I'm not going to complain about anything they do. These people are ridiculous. Yeah, why do people expect you to bend over backwards for guests? I think it's, so on one hand, there's like the Greek idea of like lavishing all guests with the best that you can offer. Like the law of hospitality, right? But that goes out the window. There's two sides to that though. The host is expected to be a very great host, but in exchange, the guest is expected to be a really good guest. If the guest breaks that like law, the host is no longer obligated to continue being the most gracious host. Like it goes both ways. So yeah, people expect it because they're entitled, and they forget that it goes both ways. They need to be an awesome guest. You can't just be like, well, the customer is always right actually, so I'm gonna have to remove your piano from your house because it's disturbing the peace. Like, yeah, call the cops today. The top advice. He's gonna put the piano on Craigslist for some quick cash after you made him move out. More likely he's already stole it. Why move it yourself if you can get someone else to move it for you? My parents tried to give their piano away for free. They wound up having to pay someone to take it as I could not figure out how to physically move it into my place. Oh boy. That's outrageous. What the hell? Ooh. Alien says it's always treat people how you want to be treated, not treat me the way I treat you. I I'm not sure if you're saying it shouldn't be the first one. I think you should. There are a lot of situations where you should be the bigger person. And it's like, yeah, okay, this person's being shitty to me, but I don't have to stoop to their level. There's limits on that. There's like a point where you're like, okay, enough's enough. You're done. Like I'm taking the kid gloves off now, and it's time for me to get my damn piano back. But most of the time, I think a little social lubrication is like, okay, yeah, you took the piano, whatever, just give it back and we'll just let bygones be bygones, you know, whatever. Oh boy. And it's, yeah, okay, I see, Alien, what you're saying, Alien. So the thing is, the point of the golden rule is not to treat people like they treat you. It's to treat people like you want to be treated. Just because they're treating you a certain way doesn't mean you have to then return that in kind. Unless they cross a line, in which case everybody has their own line. I'm seeing a lot of +2s in the chat. I appreciate that. What is it, like, go off king? Is that what people say? I'll take the go off king. Am I the asshole for leaving my sister and her husband on the side of the road? Ooh, it's another one. Another brother-in-law, sister-in-law situation. I come from a very sex-positive household. Me too. Ladies, hit me up. My parents taught my sister and I about sex, sexuality, and their non-vanilla lifestyle from a young age. They were very affectionate and touchy with each other in public, and didn't and still don't seem to care about others' opinions. They lived a very non-conventional lifestyle and weren't afraid to flaunt it. Okay, is this a setup to a porno, or is this an Am I the Asshole post? Come on. On one hand, my parents never treated sex as a shameful subject. Therefore, I received a very comprehensive, inclusive form of sex education. I'm still not sure if this is a setup or it's an Am I the Asshole post. What the heck? On the other hand, I think I was introduced to many topics at a very young age. That's probably true. In many ways, my sister Angie turned out like my parents. She proclaims that she's sex positive and has no qualms with openly discussing sex in very great detail at every opportunity. Based? She believes that if a person is uncomfortable, they must be a conservative virgin / prude who clearly hates all forms of self-expression, her words. My wife, Zara, oh boy, either Zara or Zara, isn't a huge fan of PDA. Other than hand-holding or occasional kisses on the cheek, she isn't comfortable with doing much. It sounds like she's a conservative virgin / prude who clearly hates all form of self-expression. We're also not the type of people to discuss our sex lives with people, much less family. Angie doesn't like Zara. She believes that Zara is too conservative / prudish for our family. I agree. Where is the issue here? Kick her to the curb. Am I the porn star? That'd be good. I'd like that one. So I was posting to my OnlyFans the other week. Well, where were we? She often makes fun of Zara for looking embarrassed when she's discussing in excruciating detail about sex. Zara barely says anything, but Angie still manages to make fun of her. I don't speak to Angie much. Recently, Zara's brother passed away. Angie's husband, Bill, knew his partner and wanted to pass on his condolences. Zara, Angie, Bill, and I all wanted to attend his wake. Instead of taking separate cars, Angie suggested we all go together. To be honest, I was not a huge fan of this idea. Where is this going? It was a 2-hour drive from where we lived to our destination. Also, we were planning on leaving very early so we could help set up, and we're planning to leave late. We still managed to do it, and so did Angie and Bill in the back seat of the car on the way to the funeral. At first, everything was all right. Understandably, no one was speaking in the car, and it was very quiet in the car. Most people were keeping to themselves or sleeping. Midway through the drive, here we go, Angie and Bill start making out in the back seat of our car. When I say making out, I mean full-on making out. They were pushing up against the car door and making all sorts of noises. Zara and I were extremely uncomfortable. This is great. I pulled over and started yelling at Angie. I slapped the chicken nuggets out of her hand. I told them I was disgusted by their behavior, and they were acting like horny little teenager. Angie said that they were grieving. Yeah, everybody grieves in their own way, right? What do we got? I yelled at them to get out of my car. First they were protesting. I was so angry and so tired of them already. I told them to find their way home by themselves. My parents think that I went too far with them and that Zara needs to loosen up in order to be a part of his family. Obviously, Angie and Bill are still extremely pissed. Your car, your rules, I guess? It's a hard one because this just sounds awesome. Like, I wish that people, like, you could get away with this. But we live in America where, like, even just saying sex on Twitch is like a TOS violation, so. Oh no, aliens got a lurk. Everyone was wrong. Everybody sucks here. Yeah, your car, your rules. Don't make out in other people's cars on the way to a funeral. That's maybe just a little bit over the line. I mean, I would just let them make out. Like, I don't know. Maybe they were planning it like it's the whole thing. Like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna tell them we want a carpool, and then halfway to the funeral, we're gonna start making out in the back seat and see where things go from there. Like, that's shitty. Like, don't. Obviously, if you know that your brother and sister-in-law are like not interested in that stuff, or they're gonna get upset, you're just antagonizing them for no reason. America's so prude. Yeah, it's true. Like, on the whole, yes, America is quite prudish. This sounds like above and beyond that, which, I don't know. The main thing is, like, on the way to the funeral. That's what really gets me here. Not the asshole. Sex positive means, here we go, someone that knows what they're talking about. Sex positive means valuing consent, communication, and being free to make informed choices about your body without feeling judgment or shame. Nothing about what your sister is doing is sex positive. Continuing to discuss your sex life to someone in great detail when they've expressed this makes them uncomfortable is not the one. That's not the one you want, Private. Making out in a car with other people there who are clearly not consenting to that is odd. Yeah, because they didn't consent to, like, have you make out in their back seat. There we go. Yeah, that's someone who knows what they're talking about. Perfect. Thank you, Jackie. All right, water time. This looks like this is a similar one that we had last month. Am I the asshole for not inviting one child from my daughter's class to a party? Remember, what was it, the one that we had last month where it's like, am I the asshole for not inviting my daughter's entire class to the birthday party? I think that's what it was. And everybody was like, why would you, who does that? Who invites the entire class to your birthday party? That's absurd. But here we go. My 28 female and husband 29 male have a daughter, Peyton, 7 female. Okay, Peyton, really? Peyton's a boy name, I assume. I only know one Peyton. It's Peyton Manning. Peyton goes to a small school with 20 kids in her grade. Her birthday party is next month, and we sent out invitations to her friends at school. We invited the whole class except one student. Whoa, okay, now we're getting a little, like, deliberately excluding one student is in 2nd grade. That's pretty fucked up, but let's see where this goes. The student we did not invite has bullied Peyton several times. We've had meetings with the school and parents. Obviously, Peyton doesn't want this kid at her party. The other girl's mother called me to talk about it, saying how her daughter is crying. She was the only kid not invited. Everyone at school's talking about the party. Wasn't that an episode of The Simpsons? Peyton's parties are known by her classmates to be very over the top. She's quite popular. I explained her daughter isn't nice to my daughter and that there's the reason she wasn't invited. The mother knows this. The mother said I'm teaching my child to be a bully and use her wealth to make friends. I disagreed. Yeah, maybe. The daughter then asked if she had her daughter apology and write Peyton a letter we could reconsider. I told her we would not, and it's become a big deal every time I see the mom. Am I the asshole? Edit for questions. Invitations were not handed out in the classroom. I handed them to parents directly. All right, I'm not going to read about the bullying. So, I mean, inviting 19 out of 20 kids in your class to a party is like a bad look. But also, if the kid's a bully, then I guess it should be obvious. I don't know. This is the fact that her mom, the other kid's mom is like, oh, but my poor daughter is not invited to the party. You're a bully. It's like, hold up now. We've had meetings about this. Did you forget like all the bullying that your daughter does to my daughter? And I just don't have birthday parties, I guess, because it's gonna piss somebody off. Am I, oh, what is this? This looks spicy. Am I the asshole for moving out while my parents are on vacation? I, F20, have 3 siblings who live at home. M22, M15, M12. That sounds like a disaster zone. My older brother does not work and does not go to school. We got a neat situation, all right. My middle and youngest brothers are in middle and high school. I've been taking care of them for about 6 years now. Holy shit. My parents both work. I'm the only one who cleans and makes food and takes care of the dogs. I have access to a car that I share with my brother, but he takes it to go see his friends and hook up with Tinder randos. Okay, I don't need your life story here. Stick to the facts. So I've had to bring home groceries on the bus because, oh yeah, I also do the grocery shopping. I've tried talking to my parents about it, but they said that my brother is finding himself. Yeah, it sounds like he's finding himself some Tinder hookups and probably playing World of Warcraft all day or whatever. Apex. Something. And the younger ones have to concentrate on school. I'm in my 3rd year of college and it is wrecking me. This is a fictional story, by the way, chat. My boyfriend, 24, has talked to his parents and they're letting me move into the apartment over their garage. He will be paying the rent for the apartment. He lives at home rent-free, but he also graduated and has a great job. So we talked about it and it is fair. We are committed to each other, but we're way too young to think about moving in together or getting married. Excuse me? How many times do I have to say I got married when I was 19? Like, it's never too young to think about it. Yeah, bro needs a therapist stat. Which bro? The 22-year-old brother? Okay, we are committed, blah, 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 blah. We just know what we want in life, and until I get my nursing degree and get a job, we aren't ready. And then it sounds like you are already thinking about moving in together and getting married. It's not too young. You're never too young to think about these things. Now, whether you're too young to actually follow through, that's a debate for another time. My parents went away this weekend for NASCAR in Vegas. Oh boy, NASCAR-oids. Most 19-year-olds are idiots. I was an idiot too, but I also am not an asshole, so I make it work. Separate from the fact that humans are idiots. So you're saying they're like idiots, the idiots of the idiots, the cream of the crop, if you will, or whatever the inverse of that is. It's their 3rd vacation this year. I do not begrudge them their holidays. Sounds like you do. They both work hard, but I am tired of being an unpaid nanny / dog sitter. So I grabbed my laptop, clothes, and a few other things that I've been gifted. I waited for my older brother to get home and I left. I told him I was going out for milk. Oh no, the classic story. But my boyfriend was waiting in the car around the corner. He started texting me about 20 minutes later saying he needed the car. I did not take the car. I left all the keys on the counter, even my house keys. My grandparents pay for my education, so there's literally nothing my parents can hold over me. I let him know I wasn't coming back, and I let my parents know after the last race that I had left him in charge of the younger kids and bailed. They drove straight home instead of spending the night partying and driving home today. Everyone is mad at me for being so immature and thoughtless. I just don't care anymore. I talked to my grandfather. He says that I am right, and my brothers can look after themselves. My mom keeps calling and complaining the house is a mess. I was only gone for 9 hours before they got home, but my brothers are pigs. My older brother says I am an asshole because my parents are making him do everything I used to do. I cannot find it in myself to give a shit. This is great. Based? Go off, queen? Yeah, I am not the asshole. You are not the asshole. You're 20. You probably should have moved out sooner, but hey, you know, it takes everyone a little bit of different times. For your older brother, it sounds like it maybe will take him a couple more decades and then your parents will die and you'll have to figure it out. Not the asshole. You keep doing and being who you are. You'll always be a fantastic person. That's maybe a little presumptuous. Good luck. Hangs up and blocks entire family. That's what she should have said. Whoa, hold on. Am I the asshole? Boyfriend found my clean period panties and made me feel crappy about it. Ew, periods, gross. Hey all, my boyfriend is 27 and I'm 24. We've been together for almost 2 years. My boyfriend is extremely hygienic in all ways. He's like a cat. All right, new music. Like showers twice a day, washes his clothes after every single wear, which you probably should do, chat. If you're not washing your clothes after wearing them, you are gross and probably smelly. Don't leave a single dish in the sink dirty. This guy sounds amazing. Excuse me. If you ask me, he's a little over the top on how he cleans. He and everything around the house need to be 24/7. He will scrub his body 3 separate times in 1 shower cycle just to make sure he doesn't miss any dirt. Okay, that's maybe a little obsessive. His showers are easily an hour most days, if not more. Dude, how much hot water do you have? Maybe he takes cold showers. I obviously have good basic hygiene skills, but I am much more relaxed. For example, I will wear a t-shirt twice before washing it, so long as it's not stained, covered in something, or stinky. Or I might leave a few dishes in the sink for a few hours after dinner before I get up and wash them. He would prefer I didn't and just kept everything to a T right away. An hour, yeah, an hour twice a day, that's way too much. So much. I hate taking showers because it feels like I'm wasting time because I'm just in there not doing anything. Obviously, it's important to be clean, but in my mind, it's like I could be playing video games right now. This is cutting into my game time or whatever other thing I would be doing instead. Yesterday night, we were doing laundry. We always air dry our clothes to save money and to reduce fading and shrinking. Usually I'm the laundry person, but on a one-off, he happened to be the one to take the clothes out of the washer and lay them out to dry. He came across one of my pairs of panties that I specifically only wear during that time of the month. I am certain ladies will understand that we keep panties separate for periods than we do for when we aren't. AKA I have my ugly or maybe blood-stained pairs for my period and my cute and well-kept ones for when I'm not on my period. Sorry if this is causing anyone to cringe or whatever. I'm just reading the story. It's not my story. Anyway, upon seeing these, he told me that I need to throw that pair away and that it's disgusting and unhygienic. He made quite a few comments about how gross they are despite them being clean, but just bloodstained from a previous period/spotting situation. Yeah, what's the science on that? Because to me, it sounds like if it's stained, it's like it's stained and it's not really clean. I mean, maybe, I don't know. It's like clean versus sanitized or whatever. I attempt to explain that I keep those pairs solely for when I'm bleeding, and it's a common thing girls do, but quickly stopped because I could just tell he disagreed with me and told me he's pretty sure other girls do not do this. Now he knows. He's spoken to at least one woman about this. It made me feel really, I don't know, gross, ugly, alienated. I'm not really sure, but it definitely made me upset, and I feel some type of way about something I felt was natural, I guess. If it was natural, you could just do it. You wouldn't have to wear panties. You just go in the corner like an animal. I snapped at him to forget my explanation because he's just making me feel like I'm gross, and a small argument ensued because of this. We ended up going to bed kind of frustrated with each other, but I don't think I'm in the wrong. Okay, let's see what the comments have to say. Not the asshole. It's perfectly normal and hygienic. Take it from me, a period expert. Also, consider for a moment that the two of you are hang drying all your clothes to save money, but he takes an hour-long shower, and I assume a hot one every single day. If he cut that down to 15 minutes, the two of you could afford to run the dryer every once in a while. Yeah. I don't want to judge someone for wasting 2 hours of shower water every day as half the world is in drought and major cities around the world are literally running out of water. What do you mean? I don't want to judge someone. I think that you do want to judge someone. Rillip says a stain doesn't really affect cleanliness, but I don't know if this is actually normal. Nobody in my house does, but not the asshole. I think boyfriend has a mental illness that is not being treated. Scrubbing his body 3 times twice a day is not healthy, physically or mentally. Keep in mind, if he stays like this, you can never have kids with this guy. Kids are disgusting, barfing, puking, crapping, stain machines. Yeah, so there you go. Hello, cat. You guys can't see him, but Cat is decided to come up on the desk, so let me make some room for him. There you go. Hey, that stone's back. Hello. Cat, please put your butt down so I can read. Thank you. Oh, here we go. First asshole of the night, chat. Am I the asshole for telling my husband to get over himself when he started berating me for not picking up his brother's son from school? His brother's son. You mean your nephew? Okay. Flop down, buddy. Come on. My husband, 37, took his nephew in after his dad, my husband's brother, was diagnosed with cancer. He told me that his nephew would be staying with us till his dad completes his chemo treatment. I agreed, although he did not consult me about it first. But I told him that he'll be his responsibility, not mine. Oh, it's this thing again. You're gonna have to feed it and clean up after it and make sure it has a water in the bowl. He asked me to explain why, and I told him it's because 1, he didn't consult me before taking his nephew in, and 2, I'm not equipped nor experienced in taking care / being committed to childcare. I still have to cook and clean, obviously. He said it was fine and he'd be taking care of him on his own. Going to the store for COD night? Is by COD, do you mean Call of Duty or the fish COD? Because one of those sounds better than the other. Consult. That's his family lady. Yeah, really. The other day he called me in the afternoon saying he was stuck in a 2-hour meeting and asked if I could go pick up his nephew from school. Pick up his nephew from school? It's also your nephew. I said I was having lunch with mom and discussing family issues, such as my stupid husband taking in his nephew while his dad, my husband's brother, gets chemo. He insisted, but I reminded him that he said he'd be taking care of his nephew, including school, pickup, and drop off. I suggested he try to get off work or call some family member, presumably some other family member other than his wife, to go pick him up. He tried to argue, but I hung up. Holy shit. This lady gives off Starbucks vibes. Yeah, the Karen. I went home at 3 and surprisingly found my husband there. He was angry and he started yelling at me and he slapped the chicken nuggets out of my hand, calling me selfish and unfeeling. I told him that his lack of management wasn't my fault. He yelled, saying that my lunch with mom could have fucking waited. Oh, PG-13 rating. But I chose, hold on, 2, to be fucking petty, rated R now, just to prove a point. I said that wasn't true and told him to get over himself and stop acting like he was the victim when he put himself in this situation knowing he wouldn't commit. He wouldn't commit, chat. He yelled that Guy was trying to do all he can to help his brother out, but it was me who's playing victim after I refused to help him out. We argued some more and I ended up going to stay with my mom for the night. He texted me some choice words, and that's when I turned my phone off. We're still arguing about it. Oh boy, this is good. All right, Zatstone says I side with the man here, just in case that wasn't clear. I think most of the commenters sided with the man here, the husband. So woman is married to man. Man like becomes guardian of nephew because his brother has cancer. It's a shitty situation. But she is like obstinate about it. It's like, oh, well, he's your nephew, so he's your responsibility. It's like, okay, so I can see it from my side as someone who has no kids and does not want kids. And I'm sure Emmykins can chime in here too and be like, if I ever did this, she would absolutely refuse to like interact with the kid probably. So she's gonna say not the asshole, probably. We'll see what she has to say if she even is still listening. I'm gonna say I kind of get to the point when kids are no longer infants and they are mostly self-sufficient. And all you really have to do is like get them to where they need to go and make sure they're not like killing themselves. I can handle kids like that, I think. It's like you give them some food, you give them like a video game, and you're like, hey, go have some fun, go hang out with your friends or whatever. When I was 12, I was having good times. So yeah, it's like I'm in a meeting. I was having lunch with my mom and discussing family issues. The family issue, like I joked, was my stupid husband adopted a kid without my knowledge or consent. Yeah, she's an asshole. I mean, come on. What possible situation could she not be construed as the asshole here? That Stone says, I'm not big on divorce at all. Well, you're definitely in the minority on this subreddit, but considering how much family members mean to me, it would be fucked up that he didn't give a heads up. It's a kid. I think he did give a heads up. He's like, hey, listen, my brother's getting chemo and I want to like watch my nephew, his son, until he's done. And then she says, I agreed, although he did not consult me about it at first. Oh, okay. I guess he did not consult about it at first. But I told him that he'll be his responsibility, not mine. Whatever that means. It's not a freaking dog. Like, you gotta walk him or whatever. You can be mad he didn't consult with you, but why take it out on the kid? She's using the kid to punish the husband for being selfish or whatever. So I don't know. Okay, cat, you can't be hitting the keys. I have some hotkeys here. Very important.
69 dudes.
We don't need to go back to AI art. All right, so what does the first commenter say? You're the asshole. I suggested he call some family member to go pick him up. That's exactly what he did. His wife, who should be a partner in the relationship. You're displaying zero empathy to a family suffering through the effects of cancer. Your husband may lose his brother and your nephew his dad, but you'd rather score petty points because you weren't consulted about helping family going through chemotherapy. You better hope you never get cancer because I'm not sure you'll have a support system. Oh, here, this is a good observation here. This whole post reads like her husband is her annoying roommate and not actually her husband/partner. Seems like a very individualized situation instead of a partnership. Regardless, how is any of this nephew's fault? Why take it out on him? She doesn't like kids, I guess. Cat, yeah, Cat, please don't hit spacebar and stage the craft. Yeah, we're gonna, hopefully he doesn't cause any problems during KSP speedrun time. Which starts this Friday, by the way, so all of you KSPoids out there, if you're interested in watching me try to unlock the tech tree as quickly as possible in Kerbal Space Program, tune in this Friday where we'll be beginning with a bang. All right, this is a hypothetical one. Would I be the asshole if I canceled my vacation ticket because my family wants me to share a room with my nieces? I don't know. I, F23, have been planning a family vacation with my older brother, M30, and his wife, my two nieces, F4 and 2, and my parents. Everyone is paying for their own tickets. The vacation is booked for February. We hadn't discussed room arrangements before, but I knew the room we'd be staying in would have 3 bedrooms. So we discussed room arrangements yesterday, and my brother and parents just kind of assumed I wouldn't mind sharing a room with my nieces, who I will point out are like an infant and a toddler, basically. While my brother and his wife give my parents get their own rooms. I said I didn't want to share a room with them and said they should be sleeping in my brother and sister-in-law's room since they're their parents. My parents called me dramatic and said it's not a big deal and said that my nieces won't give me any trouble. They're 4 and 2. They're going to give a lot of trouble. Are you kidding? Oh boy. I told them I don't care. They said I'm being a bad aunt and told me to grow up. I told them to go to hell. I told them if I don't get my own room, I'll cancel my ticket, which would result in everyone else having to pay more or find someone else to go in my place because we got a group discount with the resort. My brother said I'm a whiny asshole and accused me of being a narcissist. Dude, what the fuck? Hey, I don't want to have to deal with your kids. You're an asshole and a narcissist. What the heck? I gotta be the babysitter now? Are you kidding? We wanted to vacation from our kids, so if you could just like handle them for the whole length of the vacation, that would be great. Thanks. Am I the asshole for calling out my husband's coworker's wife for trying to... Hold on. Am I the asshole for calling out my husband's coworker's wife? So, why even bother like putting that in there? Just be like, am I the asshole for calling someone out for trying to flush a maxi pad down our toilet? Like a guest. Am I the asshole for calling out a guest? A guest. Half of am I the asshole is narcissist? Yeah, but on which side? Which side is the narcissism? I guess on both sides a lot of the time. How do these people think so highly of themselves? Like, I've never... I mean, I'll jokingly be like, oh, I'm the greatest person alive, and then I'll watch one of my VODs and be like, oh, right, I forgot. Yeah, it's kind of take me down a peg. I'm still pretty mad at the whole ordeal. My husband's coworker and his wife are both mad at us and think I humiliated her, but I think her lack of common sense is what did it. Why are you putting 2 spaces between the paragraph? What the heck? How does this... What is this formatting, chat? Is that how that's supposed to be? My husband and I recently hosted a cookout at our house for his coworkers. He gets along pretty well with most of them and enjoys hosting. Coworker's wife Julia goes to the hallway bathroom, comes back. I end up going after her and notice the toilet is clogged and starting to overflow. Something large and white is stuck. I use the plunger to unclog it, and lo and behold, a very large bloody maxi pad. Julia was the last person to use the bathroom. So I come out and ask her if she tried to flush a pad down the toilet. She got embarrassed and said yes. I told her she needed to go clean up the mess she made. Hold up. No, that's not how you do that. Come on now. Like, you're the guest or you're the host. I don't know. I mean, it's like a shitty thing to do, but like, oh man, that's two wrongs in a row. It's like, yeah, okay, as the guest, don't flush the maxi pad. I mean, I'm not a lady. I don't have to deal with that. If you take a really big dump in someone's toilet though, and it starts overflowing, yeah, what's the etiquette on that? Do you dig out the poop knife and like hope for the best, or you go get the person and be like, listen, I had Taco Bell earlier today, and well, I need your help. So there was water all over the floor with particles of her pad and blood everywhere, apparently. I asked her if no one ever taught her not to flush a pad. Are you doing this in front of the entire party? What the heck? We have a septic tank and they cost thousands to repair. You don't flush pads, especially not the extra large ones. It's not like she tried to flush a panty liner or something. I literally don't know the difference, so we're just gonna keep reading. Julia cried and her husband yelled at me. Yeah, what do you... It's like, imagine there's like 20 people in the backyard and you're screaming at this woman. You're like, did you flush a pad? It's a mess in there. You have to go clean it up. And everyone's staring. That's like a sitcom bit or something. It's like you go over to... Someone comes over to your house in the sitcom. I don't know. It just sounds like something that would happen. I don't know in what, maybe like Arrested Development or the other one. It's ridiculous. So yes, Julia cried and her husband yelled at me, but who does that, especially at someone else's house? Two female coworkers came to my defense and pretty much said it was stupid of her to do that. Julia half-assed cleaning up her mess. That's about as much as you can expect. Like, you know, get the chunky bits, and I'll get the water and like the messes and stuff. But yeah, you shouldn't like have somebody clean your house. She literally flooded your bathroom, potentially could have cost you 10,000 in damages, then left it for you to clean up. Come on now. What do you mean who does that? And left it for you to clean up after she obviously clogged the toilet? Who does that? Like everybody? Not the asshole. I don't agree with people saying you should have pulled her aside and not embarrassed her. Maybe she was a teenager and hadn't had her period for long, but this is a grown woman who should have known better. Maybe she like flushes it at home. I don't know. Ladies in the chat, all one of you, can we get a confirmation on that? All right. This is the end of the page. I think we'll go to the next page. We won't do a full page on the next one, but we're going to definitely do this one because this is an asshole, chat. Ding, ding, ding. We got ourselves a winner. Am I the asshole for not wanting my husband to walk his sister down the aisle? Well, what do we think? just from that title alone, I think we're in a pretty good position to make some educated guesses. My husband, Mike, 37, is the eldest in his family. He's pretty close with his sister, Beth, 28, and they spend almost all week together. That's, okay. Beth had issues with her father growing up. She went no contact with him after he took her first car and damaged it. She only remained in contact with Mike since everybody else judged her for going no contact. She's getting married to her fiance of 3 years. From what I understand, she and her dad are slowly getting reconciled, but she made it clear she wants him to take no part in the wedding. She asked Mike if he could walk her down the aisle, and he agreed. I have to say that I was taken aback, and it felt a bit odd for me because her dad is alive. They're on speaking terms again. He's going to be there at the wedding, so the logical thing to do is have him walk her down the aisle. This role isn't for her older brother, but for her father. Not to mention how father-in-law will feel about it. I brought this up with Beth, and she had an attitude. She disrespected me and implied that I was just saying this and objecting because of how I feel about the situation, not how our traditions should be practiced. Also, I just realized I don't have the disrespect counter up. It's currently 0. Rilip says, yo, lady, hold up. It's not your wedding. Yeah, really. She's like obsessed with how the wedding has to be performed according to the ancient rites. The father must walk the bride down the aisle. So it is written, so it shall be. Blah, blah, blah. I was just saying and objecting because of how I feel about the situation, not how our traditions should be practiced. We got into an argument and I went home. That's a little vague. Mike thinks I'm being unreasonable, because you are, and possibly causing him to miss something so sentimental, and that if anything, he feels honored to be asked to do this for her, and said I should stop worrying about what others might say. What's everybody else gonna say? What is there to say? Oh, her father's not walking her down the aisle. This isn't a real wedding. This is a fake. It's fake. This is a phony wedding. Traditions are shit. Yeah, you're telling me. This is ridiculous. What the heck? You're the asshole. Like, it's not your wedding, not your place to say. Like, are you afraid that you're gonna be looked down upon by someone? They're gonna be like, I can't believe her sister-in-law is allowing this to happen. It's like, what is your place in this? Okay, all right. What does it say? You're the asshole. There was no conflict except for your unwanted opinion. Yeah, really. Beth wants Mike to walk her down the aisle. Mike wants to walk Beth down the aisle. Mike's wife thinks he shouldn't. Sticks her nose into his business, insists upon it, objects to it, creates a conflict because of her own opinions about years-long issues she hasn't been around for, and then posts. OP, during your entire typing and proofing of this post, did you not see you've butted into someone else's affairs? Was there no glimmer of Beth should be able to choose whomever she wants, or Mike and Beth know this situation best? I'm more concerned that this isn't the first time you've done this. Argued a point rather than listen to other side, and if I were you, I'd apologize and offer your non-judgmental support. If I were Mike, I'd be second-guessing my marriage. All right, maybe that might be a little over the top, straight singer 2912, but we'll allow it. Oh, here we go. You're the asshole. There are 3 places you can always stay for free. 1, in your lane. 2, out of other people's business. 3, over there with your nonsense. That's so stupid. This is way out of your lane. It's none of your business, and no one is remotely interested in your nonsense. Why do you honestly care who she wants to walk her down the aisle? Do you have a problem with this sister? Yeah, she's jealous, and what's she insecure about? It's like his sister. Like, it's like, I am not like close to my sisters. My wife is close to her brother and they hang out all the time, and I'm not over here like, well, I don't think you should be spending as much time with your brother because traditions or something. You're disrespecting me. All right, so we're gonna start skimming through these now that we've gotten through the first page. We're gonna try to find some nice juicy ones. I don't want to just pick out whatever. Am I the asshole for moving out because I don't want to help my BF out with the rent? Probably not. Am I the asshole for getting up and walking out of the diner when my boyfriend said he forgot his credit card? What? I don't have my credit card. You have to pay. I'm out of here. Good luck. Am I the asshole for calling my husband insane for missing work just to teach me a lesson because I didn't iron his uniform? Hold up. Now this sounds good. Days ago. What do you mean days ago? I, stay-at-home mom with 3, was in the midst of doing laundry when my husband, breadwinner, works as a pilot, asked if I could iron his uniform before his shift. I didn't say yes because I was busy, laundry, then kids, homework, then cooking. I said I may not find the time to do it. He turned around and walked away, completely ignoring what I was saying. Oh boy, I see where this is going. An hour later, he came downstairs freaking out, asking why I didn't iron his uniform when he asked me to. I told him I was busy and reminded him how I didn't say yet. What do you mean how? Okay, let's finish this before I get upset. He blew up, saying I obviously don't care about him displaying professionalism at work. It's just a unifathom. Obviously, typing is not a strong suit for her. It's not like it was dirty, just needed some ironing. He lectured me about how his work is important. Although I'm a stay-at-home mom, I still should make his job a priority. He decided to miss his shift as a way to teach me a lesson and show me how my lack of cooperation. Okay, husband is insane. And show me how my lack of cooperation and my refusal to help him out could affect the money that keeps coming in. I called him insane for missing the shift, and he got offended and called me a hypocrite for calling him insane and acting all surprised when it was me who caused the situation to happen. Holy moly. I mean, I could have taken some time off doing my chores to iron his uniform, but still thought his reaction was a bit much. Am I the asshole? For those asking why he didn't iron the uniform himself, because I'm the one who usually does do the ironing. He said it's on the list of my house chores, which is true, but I don't give it a priority like other chores like homework or laundry. All right. Obviously, husband is like insane. He's one of those guys that is just like 5 seconds from starting to throw stuff around the house, you know? On the other hand, just because the husband is insane doesn't mean that she can just not like support the main income thing of the house, right? Like, as a stay-at-home mom, yes, you have kids to take care of. Yes, you have chores to take care of, but your primary goal, obviously make sure your kids are alive, is to support the breadwinner of the house. I'm gonna, yeah, I'm okay, -2, not based, whatever. You can say what you want in the chat. But if it's like, hey, I need my uniform to be ironed because it's like kind of wrinkly and I want to look professional when I go to work, it shouldn't be like, oh, I'll get to it. That should be like, okay, yeah, I'll like prioritize that because I know it's important that you look your best at work, because you working is what supports this entire operation. It's kind of the whole reason that I'm able to be a stay-at-home mom, so maybe I'll make that a priority. Obviously, I don't know how husband is just able to not show up to his piloting job. I don't know who's gonna fly the plane, but yeah, I think maybe put a little bit of priority into your like husband's job if your entire livelihood depends on it. It's kind of maybe bump that one up on the to-do list a little bit if the husband wants you to. Like, he's gonna be gone all day working, or for however many days he's a pilot. I don't know, he could be gone for a long time. You'll have plenty of time to do all the other chores. While he's gone, the house is your domain. You can do whatever you like. But when he's gonna go to work, maybe bump that one up a bit. I don't know. I'm gonna say the fact that your husband is being petulant and childish about it leads me to believe this is not the first time this has happened. Not the asshole. Offered to call his boss to personally apologize and explained why he missed his shift. He didn't go to work to teach you a lesson for not ironing. He didn't go to work to teach you a lesson for not ironing his uniform. What a child. These ironclad divisions of household duties are silly. Wife was busy, so he should have done it himself. I have no time for people like this. Deleted. Removed. I wonder what it said. For me, anytime an adult says they want to teach a lesson to another adult is a massive yeah, okay. Yeah, you should never like do something to teach someone a lesson as an adult, or probably like ever, because the other person's not going to learn, and you're just now you look like an asshole. Chat, do we have any follow-up stuff here? Anybody have any last minute comments? Did I drive everyone away with my like division of household duties talk? Perhaps I did, who knows? All right, next one. Am I the asshole for making my ex a birthday cake even though his girlfriend told me she had already ordered one? Rilip says, next time anybody tries to get remarried, slap them. That'll teach them a lesson. Just like, this comes up so often. I think we talked about it on one of the other Reddit courts, was America has a high divorce rate, but it's like 90% of the people are people who are getting married for like the second time or more, and then getting divorced again after that. So I don't know what the divorce rate is for like first time marriages. Let me actually look that up. That could be useful. Divorce rate for first time marriages in the US. Almost 50% of all marriages in the United States will end in divorce or separation. The estimate is that 41% of all first marriages. So if 41% of all first marriages end in divorce and the average is 50%, somebody else do the math. I don't know, but it sounds like everybody who keeps getting married is dragging the dang score down for the rest of us. Hex says, I would use a doubt this story is entirely true token. I mean, we can doubt all these stories all night and day, but at the end, we have to say they're true because that's the conceit of this entire operation that we're running here. We can't just be like, this one's fake, this is so fake, it's not even funny, etc., etc. So what is this? Am I the asshole for making my ex a birthday cake, even though his girlfriend told me she'd already ordered one? Am I the asshole for making my ex a birthday cake, even though his girlfriend, so ex's new girlfriend, told me she had already ordered one? That's weird. You're still friends with your ex? Hexes, I mean, particularly the part where she says he freaked out. You don't think he freaked out? I can see a guy. We've had situations like that. I could definitely picture like an adult man-child having an issue that his uniform isn't ironed. All right, I'm an amateur baker and I like to make cakes for people for their birthdays. My ex doesn't like sweet stuff, but our kids like helping me make a cake for him, so I normally make one for him anyway for their sakes. This year, his girlfriend planned a party for him and said she told me she had already ordered him a cake, so I didn't need to make one. I told her that was fine, but my daughter kept asking me when we would make her dad's cake and was upset since I said we wouldn't because she assumed I didn't like my ex and that's why I wouldn't make him one. Since the cake has always been more for the kids than my ex, I decided to just make him a small one since it's not like he eats cake anyway and I don't want my kids to think I dislike their dad. I told his girlfriend beforehand that I was going to make a small cake and she told me not to and that I couldn't bring it to the party. I told her I had to bring it to the party because that's where the kids would give him his gift. Okay, you're just being obtuse now. Like, I offered to come early and give it to him before the other guests arrive and they could put it away and nobody else would know about my cake, but she didn't agree with me and repeatedly told me not to bring it. I did take it with me in the end. Now she keeps complaining to mutual friends that I did it on purpose to ruin the party and calling me weird for making him a cake after I was told not to. This is such an absurd situation. I want to make my ex a cake. Oh, please don't make him a cake. Okay, I'm gonna bring him the cake. Please don't bring him the cake. Okay, maybe I'll bring him the cake earlier. No, please just do not bring a cake. I brought the cake. Was the ex consulted on this at all? How does a tiny cake ruin a party? Obviously, the new girlfriend is like mad that the ex is still in the light. This is, again, this is like this stupid divorced crap. Is people who are divorced just don't get in relationships ever again because you're screwing up the dating pool for everybody else who's trying to make it work. It's like, you had your shot. How about you step aside? You let the rest of these people have theirs. It's ridiculous. Now I threw it on the ground. So I brought a cake. I'm not a part of your system. Oh, man. Like 90% of the problems we have on here, maybe not 90%, it's like 40% mother-in-law, 30% asshole husband, and like 30% ex. Like divorced, like ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, ex-husband, ex-wife, whatever. Am I the asshole? A little bit, yeah. Like, maybe just don't give the ex the cake, like make the cake at home and be like, okay, this is your dad's cake, but your daddy's new girlfriend got him a cake, so he's gonna eat that cake, okay? All right, kids, I still kind of like your dad, except not enough to stay married to him or whatever. I don't know. It's like the situations people get into. Well, hold up. This next one, chat. Am I the asshole for telling my mother-in-law that once she reads up on basic 6th grade biology, she's free to give me a call and apologize? What the heck? 6th grade biology? I, 28F, have been married to my husband Cam, 32M, for 2 years, and we've been together for 4 in total. 28, 24, all right, that's acceptable. He was a friend of my older brother, so I've known him even longer. Cam and I decided to try for a baby, just like in The Sims. And now I'm currently 20 weeks with our first. When we told my mother-in-law the news, the first thing she mentioned was that every woman in the family had a son before they had a daughter, so she thought the baby would be a boy. Cam and I told her we didn't care what we were having, we just wanted a happy and healthy child. While I'm having a girl, we informed my mother-in-law of this earlier in the evening. Cam and I weren't on board with the idea of a huge dramatic gender reveal, so we just decided to go with casual announcements. Mother-in-law immediately seemed upset at this, and she told me the next time I need to try harder to give my husband a son. What the fuck? I laughed and said I didn't really have much of a choice in the matter. Yeah, we're not turtles. You don't get to decide. It's not based on like temperature. I need to try harder to give my husband a son. I laughed and said I didn't really have much of a choice. So if and when we have another child, it's a coin flip. There's nothing I could do to make sure we had a boy then either. She said that it was a fault on my end because she's an idiot. Oh, sorry, because she had a boy first. She had all boys. All of her other sons' wives had boys first. So that meant I was the odd one out. What is going on here? Is this woman like insane? Cam told his mom he didn't care about having a son or not. She needed to stop blaming me for something that couldn't No, that's not what you say. Don't say stop blaming my wife. Be like, Mom, are you an idiot? It's a 50-50 shot. Like, you don't get to choose that. There's nothing that I could have possibly done. She started getting onto him about how he shouldn't want a child that can carry on the family name instead of a daughter that will just be given away. Is this the 1400s? It's the Middle Ages? We need an heir for the royal family. We don't. This woman is actually Henry VIII. She's come back. Watch out, you might get beheaded. You never know. The whole thing was absolutely ridiculous. You're telling me. I told her that once she looks into getting a refresher course and reading up on basic biology she should have learned in the 6th grade, which she probably didn't even attend. She's free to give me a call and apologize for being absolutely ridiculous. My husband and I left after that, and in the car he said that while he understood my frustration, he didn't appreciate me speaking to his mother like that. Oh no. Because I basically implied she was an idiot. There was no implication. I just said she was an idiot. I told him I didn't appreciate the way she was speaking to me, and that he should be upset on behalf of our daughter since his mom clearly seems to think less of our child before she's even born. The rest of the car ride was silent. Oh boy. And honestly, we haven't talked since getting back home either. Wow. This dude. Now he's an idiot too. It's like, Mom, she's trying her best. She doesn't know any better. She's trying to get a son, but it's like, you know, she's not good at it yet. Raylup says my wife has full permission to cuss my mother. I know, right? Like if my mom like tried getting on my wife's case, I'd be like, excuse me, that's unacceptable. Don't stick your dick in crazy works both ways. Well, also don't let crazy stick in you, I guess, is the alternative for that. Just the problem is, how can you spot crazy before you get to this situation, right? Like, if everything seemed fine up until this point, and then mother-in-law is like, oh, well, everyone else had sons first, so you must be fucked up. And what do you even say to that? You're like, what? What? Again, it's like a Middle Ages mentality. Like, I want a prince, not a princess that I'll just marry off for an alliance with the local lord. No, we need a strong son to carry on the family legacy. This one was deleted. Was it fully deleted? Nope, it was just the account was deleted. All right, but it wasn't actually that exciting. Am I the asshole for coming home early for meeting BF's parents? That sounds like another one. Like, I flew out to meet my BF's parents and they were like misogynistic or whatever. Asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my sister to stop taking showers with her husband in my house? Yo, what? Like, at the same time? Nobody has any ability to de-escalate a situation on Reddit. If they had the ability to de-escalate the situation, they wouldn't have to post it. Am I the asshole? It's self-selection bias. My F32 sister, F28, and her husband, M32, moved in with us 2 days ago after they lost their apartment to medical debts for their child. Sad American noises. Womp womp. My nephew. My husband and I are more than happy to have them stay for a few weeks till they get this resolved. You're not getting this resolved. They have medical debts. They're basically destitute. They're gonna have to go live in a van down by the river. What are they getting resolved exactly? However, yesterday at 7 p.m. I was in the kitchen when my husband rushed in and said that he saw both my sister and her husband walk out of the bathroom. Oh my god. They'd most likely taken a shower together. My husband said that it irked him, and I agreed that what they did was somewhat inappropriate. He asked me to speak to my sister on the matter, and I did. She got defensive, asking how this is affecting me or my husband in any way. I told her that it made my husband feel uncomfortable and would rather they just take their shower separately. She started ranting about being overwhelmed by their son's health problems and not having some alone time together as a married couple, and found this activity as a bonding time to spend together. Yo, okay. You have an image of the husband being Kramer? He just like barges in. Jerry, I just saw something. The woman across the street. She just came out of the bathroom, Jerry, with her husband, Jerry. I told her I apologized for how she felt, but requested she just do as asked. She got mad at me and said that I was being inconsiderate. Okay. I think there's a little everybody sucks here. If someone's like, hey, please, like, I know it's like tough, but just maybe like do the one person at a time in the shower thing. It's a OSHA thing. I apologize. She didn't understand my husband's hang up on what she and her husband do. We started arguing and she stormed off to the guest room where my nephew and brother-in-law are. She's not speaking to me, but my husband said I did the right thing by speaking to her and setting this boundary. Am I the asshole? Am I and my husband overreacted to this? Some infos. My husband did not mention hearing anything, just that he saw them get out of the bathroom, and yes, they were clothed. It's the only bathroom in the house. They spent approximately 10 plus in the shower. That's it? That's like a normal shower time for one person. It's like they saved you money. Okay. Your husband came rushing in to tell you your sister and her husband took a shower together. This is so dumb. You're the asshole. Get a life, bruh. Oh, man. That's great. Yeah, I don't know. It's like a shitty situation all around. Like, I don't know what the husband's fucking deal is. This is where the sex positive thing comes in. Am I the asshole for not taking a special request from my wife while cooking the family breakfast? Probably, I don't know. Am I the asshole for calling my stepmother delusional for thinking I would change my mind on her adopting me? Maybe, I don't know. Doesn't sound very juicy. Am I the asshole for making my younger sisters fly home early after they followed my husband? What? Like they stowed away? Rilip says, surprise this guy, you're the asshole. This feels so weak. Oh, yeah, it's like, I don't know, your house, your rules. I don't know, the husband's just kind of being like weird. He has a weird hang up. Like, oh my God, they were taking a shower together. That's sinful. They're married, first of all. They're just trying to like enjoy some naked time together. Like they have to live in a guest room because they live in America where they have been put into perpetual bankruptcy by the medical system. Like, cut them some slack. Come on. I have two younger sisters who are 15 and 17. They came to visit my husband and I on what was supposed to be a 5-week trip. Unfortunately, it had to end early after they were caught following my husband while he was having dinner with a client. This sounds like a movie. What the heck? I told them they had to leave immediately because I could tell my husband was close to exploding. And even though they kept begging me to hear them out and to let them stay, I wouldn't. I called our dad to let him know they would be coming home early and why, which didn't go over well. My stepmother wanted me to let them stay until the morning so they would fly back in the daytime. I told her it wasn't possible. They had to leave immediately. Dude, what the fuck? I'm supposed to be visiting soon, but my sisters have told our dad they don't want to see me, and my stepmother said I wasn't welcome in her house after what I did to them. The reason my husband was so angry is because the client was the one who noticed them taking pictures of them, and when he confronted them, they were rude to her and to him. Am I the asshole? Are they Mary Kate and Ashley? They like doing detective work? What the heck? I have two younger sisters who are 15 and 17. They came to visit my husband and I on what was supposed to be a 5-week trip. It had to end early after they were caught following my husband while he was having dinner with a client. Hold on, I think we have file footage of this. We got this. We got this. Where is it, chat? I'm looking for it. All right. I just found file footage of this situation. Here it is. This is a scene from the movie Billboard Dad. Why were the 15 and 17-year-old left to run around unsupervised away from home? How did they even follow him? This is the plot of Parent Trap. Yeah, basically. So they have to leave immediately because husband was close to exploding, even though they kept begging me to hear them out. Okay, hear them out. What do they have to say? What is their excuse? No, you won't even like hear what they have to say. You won't be like, I called our dad to, okay, what is this? Is it this possible his client is an attractive woman and they thought he was cheating on you and were trying to gather evidence? This sounds like something 15 and 17-year-old sisters could do, no? This is immediately why I thought they'd be following him. And again, while inappropriate, we are talking about teenagers who don't make the best decisions. Perhaps they were concerned about their big sister. Perhaps the husband was going to explode because he did in fact get caught. We don't know, since OP didn't allow them to explain and sent them home. Worst case scenario, it was a bad call on the girl's part, but OP should at the minimum care for their safety. My goodness. Maybe husband was about to explode because he was about to lose a big client. I don't know. What do we? I'm gonna call it. You're the asshole. You're strangely reluctant to tell the whole story about why this was so egregious that it warranted immediate eviction. It's bad they were taking pictures of your husband and his client. It's also dumb teenager shit. It's also unclear why your husband confronted them with the client instead of speaking to them without the client and telling them to go home. Regardless, I see nothing in this that justifies why you flat out refused to let them say anything in their defense or why they had to be sent home that very minute. Send them to bed and fly them home in the morning like a responsible adult. Following an older sibling's spouse to a restaurant and taking pictures is not dumb teenager shit. It's creepy. They thought he was cheating. What do you mean they thought he was cheating? We don't know that. That's an assumption. This is so... There's not enough information, and it just, again, it sounds like the plot of a movie. Yeah, the immediate overnight flight, like they have to leave immediately, or what's gonna happen if they don't leave immediately? Like, no, they have to leave right now. Get to the airport. Get out of my face. Like, well, come on now. You're being ridiculous. Am I the asshole for canceling the family vacation because my husband gave our tickets to his widowed cousin's kids? Well, this just sounds sad. Me, 33, and my husband Chris, M36, planned a 1-week vacation to an out-of-state ski resort with our 2 kids. You can ski in, I guess it is October this was from. His cousin Martin lost his wife to cancer 6 months ago. She left behind 2 kids nearly same age as my kids, 6 and 9. My husband is devastated for his best friend's loss. His cousin? Wait, he has a cousin that's 38? His cousin's older than him? What the heck? How does that work? That's, the ages are kind of weird. All right. My husband's devastated for his best friend's loss, so they're so close that he sees him as a friend. Oh, I guess I should have read that. Understandably so. He tries to help Martin and kids, but in my opinion, he's been doing a little too much for them lately. We suggested we take Martin's kids with us to the resort to get their mind off the grief a bit. I apologize. Oh, he suggested that, not we. I apologized and said wouldn't, since we barely have budget to cover for our kids. He insisted, then tried offering compromises, but I still said it wouldn't work. He was obviously pissed, but dropped it eventually. 2 days before the trip, I found out that my husband booked 2 tickets for Martin's kids instead of our own kids. Oh, whoa, what the fuck? My husband booked 2 tickets for Martin's kids instead of our own kids? I was the one paying, but he insisted on handling and the booking and making reservations. I was stunned. I called him out on it, and he apologetically talked about how Martin needs some alone time away from the kids, how the kids need a breather, and how they need this vacation more than our kids do. I flipped out on him, asking if he was seriously okay with prioritizing other kids over his own. He said it wasn't about priorities, but doing what's needed to help those kids out. I asked how his own kids will react once they find out. He said, I'm sure they'd understand. I said no, and I also said no. That's not how this works. I totally misread what the title was. I thought the husband gave up his ticket to go to the widowed cousin's kid. He gave our kids tickets, so now they gotta babysit some other kids, and their kids are stuck at home. Like, what the heck? And then I said no and decided to cancel the vacation altogether. He freaked out on me saying I can't do that and make him look small in front of his cousin and family since they praised him for this nice gesture. I refused to negotiate it, but he called me horribly selfish and cruel towards grieving kids. Grieving kids don't need to go on like a family vacation to a ski resort. That's not how this works. Like, what the hell? Tell your husband to stay home with his cousin's kids while you take your kids on the vacation. Don't cancel your plans on account of your husband's need to feel like the hero. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that just got worse and worse as we read more of it. All right, last one, chat. Let's skip to the next asshole one and see what people have to say. Am I the asshole for asking my friend to move a picture of him and his wife because it made my wife uncomfortable? Oh, probably. Let's find out. Me, 32M, and my wife, Dahlia, the Black Dahlia, F28, lost our apartment 2 months ago and moved in with mom temporarily. Issues began to arise between Dahlia and mom, and I had to ask my friend Anthony to let us move in till I get enough money to rent out. His wife was away visiting family, and we agreed, but even then, some issues started to arise. FYI, Dahlia's very shy around Anthony. She grew up in a conservative home, and so it's understandable. What is understandable? But sometimes it can be a bit much, I admit that. For example, she freaked out when she accidentally drank from his glass. She also once made a fuss when he passed by the guest room when she was lying down and the door was open. Thankfully, Anthony was super understanding and we were able to talk some of these issues out. Last night, Dahlia was passing the hall and noticed a framed picture of Anthony and his wife kissing hanging on the wall. She told me about it and said it made her uncomfortable. Why? Holy, is this person American? They must be. That's the only explanation. They're like Mormon or something. She asked if I could speak to Anthony about it, but he didn't take it well. He gave me a look when I spoke to him and said this was bonkers because first of all, his wife put it there. And second of all, the picture holds sentimental meaning to him and his wife, and argue that it wasn't some explicit picture of them, just a normal wedding kiss. We started arguing. He said it wasn't like it was hanging in the living room. It doesn't matter where it's hanging. It's your house. I asked him to be a little more considerate because it's not like I asked him to remove it completely. Just move it elsewhere that Dahlia won't reach, or keep it off the wall till we leave. He said he was sorry. No, don't be sorry. Just be like, are you out of your mind? The heck? Music stopped? All right, hold on. I'm bringing it back. Actually, hold on. We'll do this. One more bit of music here. And we'll finish up this last one. Okay. I explained how Dahlia was feeling, but he said that again, he was sorry, but would not move the picture. We argued some more, and he said that it's his house, and I was being pushy and kind of too comfortable to make such a demand and be pushy still. This morning, Dahlia refused to even come out of the room until the picture is moved. Anthony is refusing, which makes it worse. Now I feel I'm getting stuck between a rock and a hard place. Yes, she might be overreacting, but I feel like this isn't such a big ask for Anthony to decline and turn down. For what it's worth, if it were me, I'd go the extra mile to make sure my guests are comfortable. How about you go the extra mile to make sure your host is comfortable, asshole? Anthony's been a friend of mine for 10 years. I wouldn't have asked to move in with him if I didn't have such a strong bond with him. He himself constantly talks about all the things and situations I helped him out with, and we are considered brothers. Hold on, we have a file photo of Dahlia here. Hold on, let me find her. All right, here we go. We have a file photo of Dahlia right here on the right. There she is. So clearly this is some kind of weird conservative situation. I don't know what the heck is going on here. Why? Yeah, you're the asshole. It's a picture of him and his wife. It's not like it's not like a pornographic image. Does Dahlia, like, I'm wondering if she like even has sex with OP here, because like, oh my gosh, that's like, you can't do that. That's against whatever. You're the asshole, and so is your wife. You're in their home. Your friend is doing a huge favor, and this is what he gets in return. Your wife is being weird as fuck. You're enabling / coddling her. Find somewhere else to live if you're gonna behave like that. Yeah, like, what even is this? Is there a religion that I am not aware of where like two married people can't kiss at their wedding? I just want to like know if your wife is uncomfortable with images of someone kissing, wait until she finds out where babies come from. Your wife is being bonkers, and you were both being horrible to a friend who has saved you from potential homelessness. Oh man, you're the asshole. First your wife has issues with your mom, now she's having issues with Anthony. Sounds like your wife is the real issue. Man, what the heck? I need some content. This is like outrageous to me. Like, what if Anthony's wife was at home? Like, it's like, oh, hey babe, are you like, wow, I really like the way you made dinner. Like, here's a hug. Dahlia just runs to the guest room and like slams the door because she saw two adults touching. Like, what the heck? What do you... Your wife seems to be systematically driving wedges between you and important people in your life. The issues you had staying with your mother had everything to do with your wife being absolutely ridiculous. This isn't about being from a conservative home. So what's really going on here? Was she raised in a cult? Is she affiliated with some fringe religious group? Asking the hard, true questions here. Seriously, you're staying in their home and throwing a fit over him kissing his wife in a photo, and your wife is throwing a fit and refusing to leave her room until they take down their perfectly normal wedding photo. What is really going on with your wife? Why are you enabling this atrocious behavior and extreme entitlement? You're letting her continue with her childish tantrum in someone else's home. Is making you as much of an asshole as your wife, though I do wonder if there's an underlying mental illness behind your wife's behavior. This is... what the heck? Yeah, wait until the wife comes home. There's a possibility of consummation. Are they also not allowed to do that with guests under their roof? Dahlia needs therapy. And OP needs to realize that his wife is a problem, or has a problem, and he can't fix that by asking everyone else to cater to her demands. Oh boy. I legitimately do not know if this is a mental health crisis or if she grew up in an extreme household where this is what she was taught was normal, though I suspect it has to be both. Yeah, what the heck, man? Does anybody know someone like this? Probably not. I've encountered not quite a similar situation, but like with weird religious people and not wanting this kind of stuff to go on. You're the asshole. I don't care if it's full frontal nude on the wall. Beggars don't get to be choosers. If it bothers your wife so much, then leave. That's crazy. All right, chat. That's it. It's 9 o'clock. It's time for bed. I gotta put Judge Harry away. So I hope everybody had a great time. We had some interesting situations this evening. Nothing that fundamentally broke my faith in humanity, necessarily. So it wasn't as bad as last month, but it was still pretty bad. Anyway, I'm gonna see who's streaming tonight. We'll go ahead and raid. It doesn't matter. We'll go blah 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 blah. We'll go raid Neptune Evo, who's playing Kirby's Epic. Oh, wait, is it over? Hold on. Let me actually check here. So let me know down in the comments below what your favorite Am I the Asshole post was. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
With enough.
This is an ad, and I have to sit through an ad. Oh, I think he's done. Okay. I'm not gonna... It's like... Oh, yeah. All right. In that case, we'll just raid Lupus. She's playing some Grounded. Oh, she's... The stream is still starting. The food ones always get you. I gotta add food to the list of categories we always get, because we do tend to get those. So I'll see you guys Friday. Kerbal Space Program Speedrun starts this Friday at 6 o'clock Central Time. Do not miss it. It's gonna be awesome. Kerbal's coming back. It's gonna be great. Have a good night, everybody.